Navarro with my very dear friend, Andy Peace, fellow Cuban brother. But I have to say a couple of things before I let you introduce yourself. I was thinking about this last night. I Our friendship has transversed. This is our fourth decade.
Yeah,
We've known each other.
that's
Or,
right.
I mean, wow.
40 years.
Oh my God. I was thinking about this last night. I'm like, man, how do I want to introduce this? Because this is not just somebody I know. I've known you since the mid to early 90s. So we
Yeah.
got the 90s, the aughts, the
Yeah.
10s, and now the 20s. And
Yeah.
we have had some unbelievable adventures together. And I hope we can cover some of them.
Yeah.
I know you're going to
We've
probably.
waved many times across the rip.
Hey! So, with that being said, my very dear friend, my brother from another mother, my MOT member of my tribe,
Yeah.
Cuban Andy Peace. What's
Yeah,
happening,
man. Here we
Andy?
go. Here we go. Good to be here. Thank you for having me.
No, bro. I saw your pictures you posted the other day online, and as soon as I saw it, because of the fact that we've hunted together,
Yeah.
I know that of at least the people that I know intimately, that you are very big on DIY hunting. And
Yeah.
it's something you grew up in the Glades and Big
Yep.
Cypress, and you have transversed the country doing this.
Yep.
And I
And other
wanted to,
countries.
and other countries,
Yeah.
but there's so many people that
Yeah.
they read in the magazines that they want to uh, go do it yourself mule deer
Yeah.
hunt or do yourself elk hunt. And I'm like, you know what? This is a great opportunity to talk to you about that, but also talk to you about your history in the fishing community. Because again, we've both been in it for a long time. We both met each
Yep.
other when we were young kids.
Yep.
Now we're sitting here with our old man cheaters on, which I
Yeah.
promise
Yeah.
I'll
Here's
take.
mine. Here's mine. Thin optics. Flagada. So this right here, this thing has changed everything. I went and fished Ecuador with Charlie Garcia. Hannibal gave me the tip when I was in between jobs, and he's like, "This guy needs a killer. You got to go, bro. You're gonna have a great time. He'll fly you
Charlie's a
in."
great dude, man.
Yeah. So I flew in, and it was fantastic, but I didn't have a lot of knowledge. So I talked to Legron, and Legron's like, "Oh, dude, you got to get this app. Just don't tell anybody. You don't want the locals to have it because the next thing you know, they're long lining at all the good water currents." And I was like, "Oh, wonderful." So this thing that we can call an airstrike in with has changed hunting and fishing forever. Like I
Unbelievable.
now can look on Onyx, or I can look on a lot of these ocean viewing temperature charts or current loops, and I can plot where I'm going to go, and I'm going to get there, and there's either elk sign or deer sign or wild turkey or even in Africa. I mean, it's amazing, and we live in an incredible time. And we have an incredible opportunity for the biggest piece of shit generation. Not really. I'm just joking. But anyway, because a lot of us are like, we're on a plane and it doesn't work for a second, and we lose our shit, and we don't understand that we're in a chair in the sky, and that we don't even know, like the tires, like we don't even know, we can't even fathom everything, all the little hydraulic levers that keep us perfectly straight while going 600 miles an hour. I mean, I can go on and on. So this thing has been amazing for the do-it-yourself hunter. Prior to that, I literally had to use a compass. And the same with the ocean. When we had Loran, it was terrible. Like, we we did our best, and we hunted more with, we hunted the ocean more with sign, like birds and a rip and a color change and historical knowledge, right? You talk to your elders that are now mostly gone, and they tell you, this point on this time of year.
Just so you know, we are the elders now.
I know, isn't it crazy? But now you have fucking sonar, dude, which is amazing. Like Danny Ford helped me with my first sonar experience. He came over and spent 2 hours because he's another brother from another mother. We're tight. And he's like, hey, he was busy with his people. Day before the tournament, I'm like, dude, I'm fucking clueless with this shit. And he's like, I'm on my way. Came over, spent 2 hours, and got me dialed in. The next morning, I run out like a good hunter does, whether land or sea, with an hour to spare. Dropped the sonar, started scouting where I thought there would be a blue marlin due to the conditions. Scouting, up. All of a sudden, I find a big blip and a small blip. And I go, well, history tells me that there's always a big female and a male here, or a few during this time of year. So I think this is a big female and a male. So I'm going to stay with them. So I stayed with them for 45 minutes, dude. And they were going about 5 knots. They were just chilling. And sometimes they trade places, the big one on top, the big blip on the top, boom, boom. And I was like, oh, that's got to be them, man. They're not coming up. So it's not a pilot whale.
Yeah.
It's them. So I stayed with them. So the scariest part, not being an experienced sonar person, is, okay, now I got to leave them to put the spread out. And then I got to re-find them. So I took off right before lines in the water, 10 minutes, and I came back and I found them and I stayed away from them. And just kind of did a big circle and stayed away from them. Them suckers were starting to chase my shit.
They came after you.
I had to kind of punch it a little bit, and then I lost them for a little bit because they were trying to catch up to the boat wake, I guess.
Yeah, and they were curious.
Yeah, I did a wider circle. Finally, it's 1 minute before lines in the water, and I turn into them, and I can't find them. So I go bananas with the scope, just trying to figure it out, and I find them. Oh my God, they're right here to the left. I go over them immediately, got them on. Little male. Up and jumping all over the spread. And I tell my people, let's just keep going because I'm fairly certain there's a big female here. So we keep going. All of a sudden, I look on the left and a short left, and I see a fucking, one of those things that you think it's mechanical. And it just comes up for a second and then goes down. And I was like, it's okay. She's here. And I could see her on the sonar. And then she kind of started drifting off to where the fish is jumping. So I lost her. We catch the little guy, chase him all around, whatever. Put everything back out. And I couldn't find her because I suck. I'm not good at it yet. You know what I mean? I just don't know it. I'm going to be honest. I don't use it now.
Yeah, but still, there's a difference between losing her and you got to fight a fish. There's only so much you can do. She's in the area, but backing around doing stuff. Sometimes you push them down.
Yeah.
It's not that you suck. Listen, the fact that it was your first day.
Yeah.
And you found the two. No,
Yeah.
You found two. Listen,
Yeah.
I've talked to guys before where we got the mark and they follow it and follow it. And a bite starts happening, but you have this mark and they follow it. And then finally they see a ray, a big old manna. They follow this manna for like 2 hours.
Oh, God.
Or like you said, sometimes it's a pilot whale or a big shark. So it's one of those things, while it's still an unbelievable tool to our advantage, it can sometimes take you out of your game.
100%. I mean,
it's not a fish Hawaii with.
Oh yeah. So I fish Hawaii. This is another cool story. I fish Hawaii with Neil Preston on the Northern Lights. I was over there messing around with my girlfriend, touristing out. I got to do that because she goes elk hunting with me. So, yep. ticket.
Uh,
So we're over
compromise.
there having a great time, and Neil had already told me, I'm going to take you out. We're going to catch your first one, you know. So we go out and we're hunting sign like we grew up because he doesn't have a sonar. Now he has his own boat. They're putting in a sonar. Things are going to change. Well, at the moment, we're going down a grinding edge with bullets on both sides, an occasional mahi weirdly getting chased. And I was like, we're going to catch one here, dude. And all of a sudden, up ahead, the snafu does a hard left and
Man,
goes offshore where there's nothing, no sign, no birds. I'm killing myself at the binocs. And I'm like, what is he doing? He's like, he's got sonar, bro. He's on one. 2 seconds later, oh, got him on. My God, by the end of the day, he had caught 3. We caught nothing.
wow.
And I was like, this is significant, man. Like,
Let me tell you,
it
it has taken over Hawaii. It has taken over Hawaii. Everybody I've talked to, it's a totally different game.
Yeah.
It's a totally different game.
So I love it. I embrace it, just like I do onyx for do-it-yourself public land. I mean, I've scouted, let's just say, a wild turkey, right? On onyx, just because of the lay of the land and how everything comes together. And I put a pin and I said, there should be one here. Middle of nowhere, deep in public land. I find the way in there. I get there in the dark. I sit down in the dark and I go, I've never laid eyes on this in my life. But all the ingredients are here. It starts becoming daylight, 100 yards away. Are you kidding me? Come on. And, make a couple. Pop, pop, pop. He lands in front of me and I go, boom.
Wow.
With this.
Well, you're talking about the phone. So here, I want to just switch back to fishing really quick.
Yeah.
Because I got interviewed once. I forget what magazine, if it was in the Bite or Marlin. They're like, what do you think the most significant technology we have in our industry? And people are talking about sonar. They're talking about braid. They're talking about all this thing. And I said, the iPhone. They're like, what do you mean? I go, during sailfish season off of South Florida, and correct me if I'm wrong.
No. Yeah.
4:00 in the morning. Hey, man, what'd you see yesterday?
Yeah.
Hey, man, what was the water like? And it doesn't matter if you're sailfishing or when the weather's not right, you're out there catching bait. So
networking.
You're all day long. Man, I used to wake up at 4:00 in the morning. I would know where the body of fish from Fort Pierce to Key West was every day.
Yeah. Now we have this thing called Life something. Life 360.
Life
so
360?
I have like my tight bros.
Yeah.
We're all on it. And like that, if they hear me hook up, they know where I'm at. If I hear them hook up, I know where they're at.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And we have a respect that we don't get under each other's riggers. And we don't get up fish from them where the fish are coming from.
Yeah.
You're okay to be down fish, but not in front of their fish. And that puts you in.
Yeah.
Because
could you explain to everybody what upfish means, especially in the South Florida region?
So the fish are moving south and you got a north current. They're moving into the current. So if you're set up, everybody's a dick if you set up north.
In front of them, yeah.
Yeah, you're just a dick. Yeah. And then there's a lot of these guys, I don't want to make any names, that will get literally under your rigger when you're getting covered up. So they see one jumping and they see your angler scrambling for the short in the middle and everything, and they'll run in there and start throwing baits under your spread.
Oh, yeah.
Bananas, dude. Like, so those people, I cancel. I don't want them in my circle. I don't talk to them. They see me and they think it's weird because we used to be bros. And I know a tournament is a tournament, but that's a bit much.
Fair enough.
You know, great example. I've been in the BBC and I was in second. I ended up in second, right? And I see our favorite rabbi, right, hooked up with a small fish, and I tell him, hey, go to the one, right? We have a channel. I go, do you think there's another one? He's like, guaranteed there's another one. It's a big one. It's a good one. Do you think I'm going to go over there and pile drive that area? No, man. It just lets me know that in this area, there could be another male and a female. So I just simply worked out. You know what ended up happening? She's right there hanging her picture.
On your wall?
Yeah. Got him on, caught a big female, you know, about a mile and a half from him. Because, you know, so a lot of these guys will just, like, literally 100 yards off your transit, you know, just pile drive you.
They'll cut you off.
And it's just not, in my opinion, it's just not cool. So to each his own, but I don't subscribe to that. Just like, for example, this year, I went elk hunting during archery. And I had 18 hunts. That means 18 half days. I invested 2 half days in schmoozing some guy. I cooked him an incredible stuffed lobster, cream sauce, rosemary.
Bro, dinner. Did you take the lobster with you up to Montana?
Absolutely.
My man.
Well, I have 2 different mountain ranges that I can stay in because I've built these relationships. And so they come down and I take them on my flats boat to Flamingo and we rent the houseboat and we bro out and cook what we catch. And then when I go to Montana, I'm taken care of.
Yeah.
If I go to one mountain range and the elk aren't where they normally are, I quickly pack all my shit and go to another mountain range and stay at the other guy's house. That I have free reign. And then I can find the elk there. And there they are, right? So I've built these relationships. So I invested. One of those guys is like, look, you got to really try to schmooze this guy. He's got a lot of private land and it's full of elk. And he showed me videos of big bulls. And I was like, yeah, if I don't have to fight the crowds, there's nothing wrong. I'm not proud, you know?
Yeah.
Hey. So I invested 2 half days schmoozing him and it didn't work. He has never let anybody hunt there in 40 years, and I wasn't going to be the first guy, but I tried.
Okay. Yeah.
So the other 18 hunts, because it was 20 hunts total, right? 10 days. So, you know, half day is a hunt.
Yeah.
So the other 18 hunts, out of 18 hunts, 12 of them I had bulls screaming, coming, screaming, just screaming. And out of those 12, 8 of them got foiled by people.
Oh, because
same shit as fishing, right? You're sitting there, the bull is screaming, and you know you shouldn't move more because he's coming. And the terrain dictates that if I move forward, I'll be in the open where he's going to hang up. But I'm in the thick, so he's going to come looking for me, and I'm going to get a close range shot like I did last year when I killed that really nice one with my girlfriend, which is another story.
Yes.
But an amazing story about life. So out of all of those hunts, 12 of them had bulls. 8 of them got ruined by people. Like people running in, they see me and they just keep running towards the bull because they have no depth as to where the bull actually is. They just heard him from a quarter mile away.
So I'm
going like this. No. And they just keep going. And then they blow the bull into the next drainage, which makes him unhuntable from then on. So now you got to go find another elk at another spot, 1, 2, 3, 4 miles away because they blew that one. They did that to me 8 times this year. 8 times. One of them was really bad because the bull was 70 yards raking a tree. And all of a sudden, you know, and he was not responding to bugles, only cow calls. And all of a sudden, some guy rips some thing he thinks is a bugle behind me, you know, And all of a sudden I hear the bull running the other way. And I was like, wow, bro. I mean, I had it all. I had a bull. I was above him because the thermals were rising, because every day in the morning the thermals are dropping. And then when the sun comes out, the thermals are rising. So you work the thermals, which is not really wind. It's just like breeze going up or going down.
Movement of air
Yeah.
pockets.
So I'm above him. I know where he's at. I heard him in the dark, and I know that if I go down there, he's there for a reason, because the wind swirls, and anything that comes near him, he's going to know. So I decide to stay above him. He's hot enough that I could call him up to me because of how he acted in the dark. So now the thermal switch, I check, coming up. I start calling. He rips bugles. He comes marching out of the timber, and we got about 120 yards of open country. And I'm just over the crest. So he knows that those cows, because I use 5 different cow calls. So I'm constantly changing tones and cadences and fucking them up. And he is coming, ripping bugles and ripping apart every little tree in its path on his way to me. And all of a sudden, he stops, and I'm looking at him just over the roll of the hill, so he can't see me. Of course, I got face paint on, and he's not going to see something that sticks up this high from the hill. He's still 100 yards away. And all of a sudden, he looks that way, and he takes off. And I was like, what the fuck? So he's gone now. So I just stand up, and I look, and here's 2 guys, turned out to be from Minnesota, walking on the ridge like this, like if they're gonna sneak up on an elk that clearly skylines them. Just unbelievable. So those guys ended up foiling 4 of my hunts.
Those same guys?
Same guys.
Oh my
4
God.
hunts. Finally, after the 4th evening, and this was a really bad one, because I worked the bulls in the morning. They blew them off, and then I knew where they would go if they got blown off. So I kind of went over there hoping they did that. And sure as hell, I heard a couple cows. And then I heard him do, like, when they're sleeping, they do this weird, it's not a bugle, it's like a moan. They're like laying down and they go, it's not a bugle, but you know it's an elk.
It's a young.
So So, he's got his bitches. So I stayed above him pretty far, like 250 yards above him, because the thermals are rising. And I said, this afternoon, when the thermals start to drop, he's going to start moving, and I'm going to get ahead of him, even with him. I know he's going to go back to water. And these guys are gone. I left them a mile away. Should be good. So all of a sudden, like 4:30, 4:45, I hear, and I go.
Now, I got a quick question. Did you leave, or did you just sit there and wait?
Oh, I stayed up there, and occasionally I would get a face full of elk, and I would smell them. And I'm like, they're right there, dude. The whole herd is right there, 200 yards away.
You just stayed there and waited them out.
This. I even cooked my little peak, boil in my boil water shit.
MRE.
Yeah, but it's a new company called Peak.
Okay.
And they're really good. They taste really good. And I had my bison backcountry bowl while occasionally getting a nostril full of delicious elk. Oh my God, they're right there. This is great, right? So at 4:45, I hear him get up and shake. And I go, he's up. It's got to be him. And all of a sudden, oh my God, he's up. So I get my shit on, and I know he's going to go east. So I take off, get like 200 yards down. I make a couple calls. He bugles right away. And then I hear his cows are ahead of him. Okay, perfect. So I dive down. I get perfect on their level. There's like 3 giant cow trails of elk below me, one right I'm standing on it, which is my favorite, which is called a thoracic opening shot right here. This guy here, I killed him with a thoracic opening shot. This guy here. Hang on.
You have him right there next to you.
This guy here
Damn.
died from thoracic opening. Right in the chest, right here. Super. It's only an area about this big. So you don't want to take it at 50 yards. But 30 and under, most archers can hit this.
Yeah.
So if you get it in there, he goes 10 yards, 20 yards, 50 yards, and he topples over himself. It's really effective.
I killed a
So
whitetail
sitting there
like
on that trail.
ago.
What's that?
I said I killed a whitetail, an 8-point whitetail like that one time.
It works, man. It
Yeah,
works.
it was one of those things. I was moving out again. I just finished my morning hunt, and I see this one coming up, and bow and arrow hunting, and I just threw a grunt, came right at me. I mean, right at me, and I'm standing up. I couldn't do anything. Luckily, I was at full draw, and he's blowing at me. By the time the second blow, he was done.
It was coming.
He was bam. And next thing you know, whatever. I think he made it like 40 yards, but that was it.
Yeah, it's very effective.
It's a great shot.
So I'm sitting there, and here they come, man. And he's behind the cows screaming. And I'm like, okay, so I just got to maybe get a little higher and let the cows flow under me. But I got to get ahead, and I got to hope that the lead cow isn't too far ahead to get a taste of me, because now the thermals are dropping. But luckily they were dropping at an angle to the left, not to the right where they're coming from. So I said, because I check it constantly with my little dust, and I'm going to be golden. Well, everything's coming. All of a sudden I see the first cow, and I see the second cow, and I look, and I see him big 6x. I mean, just a big six, like 280, 300, which is big for me because I'm a public land hunter. Nice 6x. And I'm like, oh, this is going to be great. Everything's fine. All of a sudden, dude, right to my left, whatever the hell bugle shit he thought he was throwing out there. Everybody jumps, all the cows, they're like, huh? And then they all run towards the bull, and everybody leaves. And I was like, I just can't even believe that happened. So I went right to the guys. I knew it was them because they had that retarded bugle. So I run in there, and just as I'm catching them, they look up, and they just, they're 20-year-olds. And they haul ass through the woods. And I could have caught them, but I would have maybe gotten hurt. And at our age, you got to be very careful about getting hurt.
100%.
Because even with, amazing peptides like BPC 157 that help you heal quicker, it still takes forever, dude.
We're in our 50s, man.
Yeah, it takes forever. So I said, you know what? I got a better idea. I'm going to cut them off. I'm going to drop down and wait for them at the trailhead. And I'm going to have some words. So, of course, the 305 ghetto, I got out of the ghetto mentality, starts clicking in, Okay, I'm going to hit the lead one right in the jaw. And then I'm like, what am I thinking? This day and age, you get assault. You can't do it. So I wiped all that off, and I said, I'm just going to have a conversation. So I waited and waited and waited. Sure as hell, an hour and a half after dark, they come, and I'm blacked out with my headlight on, pulled off into the brush. And when they get like 5 yards, I turn the light on and I go, what the fuck, guys?
Bro.
I mean, 4 hunts. My runway is getting shorter. As you could see, you guys are 20, dude. You guys have been following me around these mountains, blowing all my elk. And I just don't have a lot of time for this. I'm not going to get to do this many more times. This is so wrong. And they're like, well, we're sorry, sir, but we're trying to learn too. Okay, but watch some podcasts. I don't know. Google shit, but you guys don't even have camo. You've got a Walmart bow. And how do you check the wind? Oh, we stick our finger. That
No.
doesn't work, dude. You can't do that. Okay, so educate yourself before you come out here to the Super Bowl in the back country, where I sacrifice a lot to make it here before daylight, so you guys can blow 2 days of amazing hunts that would have probably ended in a bloody arrow. So after all that, I said, please tell me that you guys are going to give me the space that I need and go somewhere else, dude. I've been hunting here for 20 years. So please, let's do the right. Well, I'm sorry, it's public land. We're going to be here tomorrow. So at that time, the 305 got out of the ghetto, take out both knees first, then throat punch. No, throat punch first, then take out both knees. No. And I said, no, I can't, because then I noticed that the back guy had his phone up. So he was recording. He saw I was getting worked up.
Yeah.
Not that I would have done it anyway, because at the end of the day, I don't do that anymore. I just don't. So those were Venezuela and Mayaguez and Condado, days.
Back in the day.
Yeah, when we didn't. So anyway, make a long story short, they basically spent the rest of the time that I was there, and I ended up having to leave, just running to elk willy-nilly with no idea if they were being seen, smelled, heard, and just blowing elk out of the country. And I finally had to bail out of there. So at the end of the hunt, I was like, wow, I actually was a good hunter. Like, I was in the elk and I had them coming. So I had their number. But these outside negative impacting influences ruined my hunt. So I went home, tail tucked, with a tag sandwich. So, I'm here and my boss isn't doing much. Everything's caught up. And my girlfriend's like, why don't you go back for gun? And I go, I've never hunted gun for elk. Never. I'm an archery hunter. And she's like, you should go, even if it's for a couple days. I mean, you're going to eat another tag sandwich, because I've eaten tag sandwiches before. Don't get me wrong.
We all have.
Yeah. So I said, you know what? You're right. So I started researching and I'm like, wow, that's a lot. I mean, it's like 4 times the amount of people in the woods.
Yeah, because everybody can shoot with a gun.
And it's snowing and everything's icy. And the elk are not supposedly where they are during archery, which turned out to be 100% true.
Yeah.
I went to all my old archery hunts and it was a desert. Like, you could tell they hadn't been there in 3 weeks or a month. And I was like, what am I going to do? So I talked to a friend of mine who's this really old school Cuban hunter. Like, if my dad was alive, that'd be him. And he's gone international. He's a dentist. And he's gone international, and he now has done, I don't know, 80 buffalo hunts in Africa. I mean, he's
wow. Okay.
big time. He's like Nitro 500, shoot him at 5 yards as they're charging, that kind of guy. But he also has a place in Montana, and he knows a lot about what's going on. And his son is like us, like we are with fishing. He is like that about elk. He's a psychopath. And I was like, man, can you give me his number? I'd love to talk. Oh yeah, he'll help. I'll tell him you're one of us. Call the guy up, and the guy was great, man. He was like, look, Andy, this is the deal, dude. I'm going to give you a couple of trailheads, but you're going to have to find the elk. They're not going to be within 4 miles.
Oh, wow.
After 4 miles, you're going to start finding elk. And I was like, bro, that's a lot. Like, I'm used to killing a bull within 2 miles. He's like, yeah, that's not happening. So
not by gun season, man.
So just strap your belt on tight and go. And I was like, oh, okay. So, and he was right. everywhere I went, it was brutal. It was just, you go, you're fine, and all of a sudden you hit a rock that's got ice on it, and you bust your natural ass. So I've got our brother from another mother, Moy's Big Game, Andy
Oh,
Moy's rifle that we call Dottie, that he lends me when I'm a bow hunter. So
yeah.
I have rifles, but not anything for 1,000 yards like he does. He's a psychopath when it comes to
Dude,
guns.
he's a psychopath, period. In the
Period.
I'm just glad he's on my side.
Yeah. Everything he does is wide open. He either neutral or wide open.
Bro.
So he's been lending me that rifle for years. I've killed my first moose with it when I applied for 15 years for the Maine moose permit, and I finally drew. And I was like, look, I want to kill him with a bow, but I'd like to have a gun just in case it gets, where I'm going to eat a tag sandwich. I'm never going to draw this tag again. And he's like, bro, take Dottie, And I had already taken Dottie on Alabama deer hunts and shot deer at 600 yards. And
What is Dottie?
it's a 300 Ultra Mag custom that he
Okay.
built. It's with a turret. It's badass. Like if you look at the video on Facebook, you see the turret set to 600.
Yeah.
So I started, going to places and yeah, the elk were 4 miles plus in and people everywhere. Like the first 3.5 miles, it's just people,
It's a
So
highway.
finally I like 4 days into it or 3 days into it, and I think it was the fourth morning. So 3 days, I burned 3 days. And 2 days at my old haunts, finding nothing, like nothing. They're all gone from there. And so on the fourth morning of the new area, I'm walking in and it's dark. So I got no lights because there's somewhat of a moon. And I look to my right and I go, are those all elk in the snow? So I look up with a binocs and it's a whole herd of elk. So I drop down and I'm just watching them and I see 6 bulls. One of them is like a 300-inch 6x6, just herd bull, beautiful. And then the other one's another 6x6, like the one I killed last year, decent bull. And then there's 2 5x5s and then a 5x6. And I'm just watching them all. You can see everything because the snow's behind them. You can see their points,
Yeah.
And I got Swarovskis. I got good glass. So I'm watching them and I'm like, okay, at daylight, I'm going to when it's legal shooting time. So I had no cell phone service, so I knew that. So I had already photographed what legal shooting time, and I had a screenshot. And I said, on that minute, I'm going to let the air out of that big one. So I'm sitting there waiting, I'm laid back. I'm trying to stay warm and trying to stay, okay. Because it's cold, dude. And for Florida boys like me and you, hay un frío de pinga. It's cold, dude. So I'm laying there and I got good shit. I got Sitka gear, I got good shit. I'm not going there with South Florida camo. So I go, let me just check on Onyx because I know I'm pretty close to Idaho. They're all 200 yards into Idaho.
No.
Yeah. So at that time, I said the usual, right? The 305 gangster,
Bro.
mentality hits you, and I'm like, okay, I know what I'm going to do. I'm just going to shoot them. Then I'm going to take a Ziploc, fill it with blood, and I'm going to trickle it back to the Montanas. And I'm like, no. Number one, the elk won't taste good all year by doing it that way.
Yeah.
It won't. I'd done that when I was like 18, 19, 20.
Bro, there's a story I remember that you told me when you were in Big Cypress. I'm like, bro, what are you doing? You're a grown ass man. Just like you said, 100 yards. Just leave it alone. It's not worth it.
You can't do it. So
Yeah.
I sat there and watched them till hoping that maybe they'd get up and go back into Montana, 200 yards. And then it was legal. And then it turns out that side is like a trophy area in Idaho that they have very limited tags.
Oh,
No wonder there's a lot of elk, right?
luckily you saw that.
Yeah. Well, that's again going back to this amazing thing. Uh, Onyx shows you where you are at and is
Yeah.
like, oh, wow, you're actually like right on the line. Like I'm 20, 30, 40 yards into Montana and they're 200 yards. I'm ranging them and they're 212, 225, the whole herd.
Oh my God, what a shot.
Yeah. With that rifle, it's a chip shot.
Oh
You
my
don't even have
God.
to adjust the turret because it's zeroed out to 300 yards.
Yeah.
And it has 22 magnification on the scope. So, like, you could pick a hair and hit it. So, after they moved off into Idaho, because I didn't want to booger them, because I'm like, maybe tomorrow they'll be on this side.
Yeah, maybe they'll cross.
They were on this side last night because I found as I crossed the snow, I found where the whole herd had come from Montana and went into Idaho right before daylight. And they were just chilling on the other side, almost like if they knew.
They knew.
It's bananas. So I get up and I get above these ridges and I'm, glassing into them. And I get another half mile or so and I'm glassing into Montana. Idaho's behind me. And I'm glassing into Montana and I look and I go, oh my God, there's two, not one, but two herds of elk. Fantastic. So I start making plans. I look on Onyx, they're deep in Montana. This is going to be great. So I start, and dude, it's 10,000 feet. It's like 9,800.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, what I mean by hustling is you go 100 yards and you got to stop.
Yeah.
And then it takes you a while to get the oxygen everywhere. And I don't smoke. I hardly drink anymore. I rarely eat carbs. You saw what I ate this morning.
Yeah.
Elk, eggs, and avocado. And
You can't.
And another thing that's very vital at our age that a lot of people aren't on board with, but I recently had to go on board, is I balance my hormones.
Yeah.
Simple. Because in this day and age, we have this technology, right? The same technology that allows you to find blue marlin with a freaking down periscope. You can either age gracefully and fall apart, like many of my friends that are on a handful of pills, and a lot of it is hormone related.
Oh, 100%.
I was very blessed that up until I was 55, my testosterone was like at 670 and all my liver enzymes, my thyroid, everything was badass. Like the doctor looked at me, he's like, what the fuck are you doing, dude? Are we allowed to cuss?
Yeah, you cuss all you want.
He's like, what the fuck are you doing? I go, dude, I just eat dead shit. And he's like, well, whatever you're doing, don't change it. Well,
Perfect.
A year goes by and I start dragging ass. Like I go to my workouts in the afternoon and I don't want to be there. I'm like, oh, fuck. Okay, And I get on the Stairmaster and I'm like, this fucking sucks. And so my girlfriend is very much like that. She's 53 and she looks like she's 30. And she's been on HRT for 15 years.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. So she has watched, and I met all her friends, and none of them could give a damn if they ever fuck again. They all look like shit. They all have knee and hip problems, and it's just not a good road. And to be honest with you, I think that's what caused my divorce. I went from marital bliss, fucking every day, to a cheek kiss when you get home after a 14-hour day in the sun. What the fuck is that? I didn't sign up for that. I signed up for tongue. What are we doing? What is this? I don't. That's not life. Life is passion.
Yeah.
There he is on the long left. That's life. So I had already kind of known about that because I knew women that were my friends that had learned that they can regulate that. They can make that that menopause a softer landing. Well, my wife at the time wouldn't have any of that. And to be honest with you, it ended up in divorce. Because other things went bananas.
Life.
And I tried to talk to her dad about it. Her dad was like, "Oh, it's okay. You'll get used to it." No, I'm not going to get used to that. I'm not. He's like, "No, yeah, there's other things in life." No, 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 no. I don't think you understand. I didn't sign up for that. No. And I wish that was the only thing, but there was other things that the mind changes when women go through the change.
Yeah.
Like incredibly. It's bananas. I saw it. It caused my divorce. Of course, I'm going to be honest with you. I have some to do with it because
it's a two-way street.
I'm gone a lot, right?
It's,
now, when I was here, I'm the kind that changed diapers. I redid my whole house. I did my own tile. I did every caulking on every impact window and opening is the exact same mills like we do on boats with blue tape. I hired the guys to do it and they went, hey, and I was like, get the fuck out of here. Just leave. What do you mean? That's the way we do it. No, you're not going to have like a little tiny thin and then a thick and then thin. No, that's not happening. No, it just leave. And I just did it myself. So, and I'm the kind that cooks every meal, with love, like I don't just throw some shit in the oven or, a TV dinner. No, I cooked good, healthy, you know what I mean? So my contribution to the divorce was I was gone a lot and she had to carry the house and the children. Right. So I'm guilty too, but I do recognize that hormone imbalances lead to not only physiological, but psychological issues that if you leave them unaddressed, you're screwed.
Both men and women.
Oh, yeah. 100%. I'm going to give you an example and why I made the
switch.
I pulled the trigger. Art Sapp.
Very well.
Murderer.
Fisherman.
Killer.
Bro, when you hit the nail on the head. He's a fucking murderer.
So I saw him 2 marches ago, and he looked like shit. And I was like, "Damn, Art, bro, And he's like, "I know, man. I know. I'm working on it. Dude, I see him 2 years later, and it's that 30-year-old version of Art. And I was like, "Bro, I'd do you right now." Bro, what have you done? He's like, "I know, man. Look, it's that ways to well shit, one of my bosses, I was tired of this shit. And it was that, my fucking hormones were all fucked up. And I was like, bro, give me the number. Give me the number because I just started dragging ass. And I don't want to wait till I'm a pile of shit. So my problem with it is I've never done anything unnatural. And up until now, that to me is crazy. Injecting shit into your body, weekly or microdosing twice a week, to be more stable, like I thought people were crazy to do that, to inject shit, But then I went to the outfit that he went to and I realized, wait a minute, dude, this is science, dude. Like, and then the actual doctor, he's been on it for like 20 years and he's 82 and he's like, "Hey, what's going on?" I mean, I was like, and he, told me I still all the time. And I was like, bro. So then my girlfriend, I told you, she's into health and like big time functional medicine, not Western medicine. Take this pill, take this other pill. No,
yeah.
She's into finding out why. And then let's tweak things. Let's tweak our diet. Let's get more rest. Let's fix the problem. So she had read Suzanne Summers' book when Suzanne Summers had breast cancer. Well, Suzanne Summers did HRT, and her breast cancer after that never came back.
Oh, wow.
And her significant other is 84, and they fucked every day, dude. Like she says it. And he looks amazing to this day. She passed away, but he's 84 and
she was in her 80s when she died, wasn't she?
And she was fucking him every day.
Yeah.
Yeah. So to me, that's important, because it's hard to have love without that connection. And at least for me, maybe because we're Cubans, but I know plenty of white boys. Thing. Yeah, I know plenty of white boys that feel the same.
Yeah.
So anyway, I went to that doctor and they did a 19 vial blood panel.
19 vials?
Yeah.
You didn't pass out? They didn't draw you dry?
No, it was fine. And so then they checked everything. And then they put you in this machine called a DEXA scan or a DECA scan. It's like an ultrasound of your entire body. And then they give you a cognitive test because low testosterone fucks with your cognitive. Yep. Because they want to show you, after you've been regulated for a while, your improvements. And I can tell you, dude, that it's 100% better. It's great.
Listen, you look great.
Everything. But I was already in shape. I just was out of energy. I was out of energy. Like I was like, for the first time in my life, I was dragging ass. So instead of waiting 2, 3, 4, 5 years and drag ass, which then it's harder to get it back. I was lucky enough, God put me together with Art. And Art was like, bro, you don't have to do that. You just here, talk to these people. Gave me the number, and it was great. It's $10 a day. We blow $10 a day on an appetizer at lunch. Do you want to feel good?
Yeah.
Do you want, for example, one of the things they found in that DEXA scan is my hips were starting to wear from standing on boats and pounding, there was some porous stuff going on.
Yeah.
And he's like,
100%.
that, he showed it to me at different angles. He's like, that 100% is hormonal. When your testosterone starts to wane, all of these things, and this is what aging is. You can age gracefully and you're slowly fall apart, or you can hang on to a lot of the goodness that you still have left.
Yeah.
So for me, it was simple. Is it a pain in the ass? I started asking questions because you know how we are, right? I'm like, So what if the apocalypse comes and I can't get it? He's like, okay, let's say the apocalypse comes in 5 years and you can't get it. Number one, you should always have, like a year's worth, because maybe by then the apocalypse is over, of stuff, right? Of testosterone and your, because another thing that happened was my thyroid was asleep. It all works together. When your usable T goes down, your thyroid starts sucking. So he had to wake up my thyroid, because that regulates your everything, energy,
all
everything.
your hormones. Yeah.
I had no idea about any of this shit. And so I said, well, what are the apocalypse comes? He's like, well, simple. You'll end up where you were.
No, you'll end up where you were, but much older.
Yeah, but you just had 5 years of amazingness.
Exactly.
Let's say, and if the apocalypse comes in 10 years, you just had 10 years of amazingness, so it's up to you, bro. And I was like, no, it's the choice is clear. Yeah. I'm not going to do it. I mean, we take supplements, dude, that work. Like supplements that I take, if I don't take them for 3 or 4 days, I start sucking ass.
Yeah.
BPC 157, I already mentioned it one time. Again, it's a peptide that we used to make when we were young. Remember when we were young, you were on the Real Tight? Let's say I was on the Jungle Gym and I busted my natural ass because I jumped from the bridge, because we got them on the long left. And I jumped from the bridge into the cockpit and I hit the ladder with my neck, and I got up and, I had a sore neck for a day or two, and that was it. That happens to me and you now, and we're
done, bro. Like I told you, I don't jump on and off boats anymore.
Yeah.
I don't jump on and off.
Yeah.
It wasn't even a conscious decision. It was
Yeah.
let me just swing my legs over. But I also remember like I have a couple of great memories of you and I hunting together. I remember the first time I went to Big Cypress with you. We must have walked 6, 7, 8 miles in
Yeah.
water up to our hips.
Yeah.
And we just kept going. We just
Yeah.
kept going. I remember the time where we both drew walk in the water,
Yeah.
and we stayed out there for like 4 days. And
Yeah.
it's like, let's walk along this fence. And next thing you know, we're at 7 miles around this fucking
Yeah.
swamp.
But it's
Loving
just like
life.
fishing, right? You grew up with a whatever it takes mentality
Exactly.
because these wealthy people expect that from us. They don't want guac guac guac. They want that's what
Every
they want
day.
every day.
Every
So
day.
you have to deliver. So that transcends into everything else in life. It just
Yeah.
does. Like the way I maintain my airboat, the way I maintain my flats boat, uh, my yard, just everything. I got into bees, bro.
Your body, how you
Yeah.
maintain your body.
I
Same
got
thing.
into bees.
That's good, man. Bees are
That's
good for you.
bananas, right? Because you
Listen,
know why?
I need to borrow your bees
Yeah.
to pollinate my pickles.
Oh yeah,
I
yeah,
got
yeah.
to do it by hand. I'm in the
No, dude,
gardening.
just grow a colony in your island, and you'll
Well,
do
no, no,
everybody a favor.
no, that's here. But I mean, back home in Florida,
Oh, got it. Yeah, yeah.
I have tomatoes, I have
Oh, wow.
peppers, I've got carrots, but my
Nice.
pickling, because I love pickling cucumbers.
Yeah.
But I have to get the a little brush and
And
go from
yeah.
flower to flower.
But you probably
Listen,
get 100% germination, right?
yeah, oh,
Or
100%.
pollination, sorry.
Yeah. Listen to us now. We're not talking about, hey man, tonight we're going to the bar.
Yeah.
Bro,
La
oh
gondola.
my God. Oh my, la gondola.
The
No,
steakhouse.
uh, no, no,
Oh my
listen.
God.
Tonight, the only pollination that's going on is my cucumber. What did you do? I had just because we're both Cuban. So yesterday I had to burn some trash. So I grabbed un tabaco. I lit my cigar and then I lit the fire and I sat there and I burned trash for like an hour. My girlfriend called me up because she's coming in tomorrow. And she goes, look at you. I mentioned it earlier. She goes, my ovaries are fluttering. I'm in my she saw me throwing the axe. I was chopping wood, and she
I
goes,
love it.
I feel like you're Paul Bunyan.
I love it.
But no, listen, as we get older, and
Yeah.
I'm glad you took this turn down this way because it's important. There's things that we still want to do. Like you said, we've only got so many more of these hunts to go. We've only got
Yeah.
so many more of these trips to go. How can we continue doing it?
100%.
And it's important. It
Yeah.
really is. You have to take
Right
care of your
now,
body.
I can still do anything I did in my 20s. I can run up and down the tower. I can get in the cockpit, throw the cast net. I can go to the bow, pull the anchor. I can do anything, but I'm more careful. Because if we get hurt, like when I
It's going to
killed the
take
bull
longer.
this year and I had to pack him out, I didn't just willy-nilly, run down the mountain. I had
No.
walking sticks and I made sure they were firmly implanted before I took any steps. And it took me forever. But I didn't twist anything. I didn't break
It's
anything. I didn't sprain anything. When you have 100 pounds on top of
extra.
your 200-pound frame, it's, your body. It's a lot of strain on you. Feel it.
Yeah,
Matter of fact, that
100%.
hip that he diagnosed in that DEXA scan machine, I could
Uh,
feel it.
Really.
I could feel it there every step because I had extra weight.
So it's funny you say that. Like right now, I'm feeling it in my hip, but
Yeah.
that for me is a sign that I got to change shoes because
Oh, wow.
yeah, I have to get new shoes like every 6 months.
Oh,
Soon as the
wow.
shoe, because they get compressed and compressed, so they don't give you the
Cushion. Yeah.
cushion. And I quit walking barefoot on boats at 32. That's 20 years ago. My
Because you could feel it.
well, what happened was I had plantar fasciitis or fascial
Oh yeah, yeah,
plantitis.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I went to the doctor. He goes, "Lie, that's it. You cannot walk barefoot. And if you go get up in the middle of the night to pee, which now I'm doing it 3 times a night instead of just once.
Yeah,
Uh, I put on slippers,
yeah,
and so now what I've actually done is I can feel when they're starting to go bad,
yeah,
or because I feel it either in my knees or my hips, and it's not like boom, it's just like usually it's when you're on a for me it's when I'm on a plane where you can't stretch out, and it's
yeah,
like ooh ese dolor, and then okay, order a new pair of shoes. And you
yeah,
look when I look at my ordering schedule, it's like, oh, look, it's 7 months. Yeah, it's time.
yeah.
You
Hey,
know,
hang on real quick. I just gotta send something because I got a mate coming, and I gotta send something to Ocean Reef Gate. Uh, hang on.
do what you got to do, bro. You're still
It'll take
working.
1 second.
You're working. I'm working. I just while you're doing that, let me just close this door. I opened the door right at the beginning of our podcast, which is kind of backwards. I got a fire going, and then it's a little chilly
Beautiful.
outside. It's like 42 outside.
Yeah, we're good. That's it.
Okay.
So
But no,
anyway,
it's important to talk about as we're getting older, because at least in our friends, and a lot of guys don't want to talk about it, you
they
know?
don't because they. It's hard to break the old rum and coke, you know, just care about how you feel right now mentality. It's hard because I was one of those. I mean, when I was young, we we did stuff,
Yeah.
I we
We
almost all of
treated
us,
our we treated our body like a carnival.
dude, almost all of us smoked weed. And I don't know anybody who didn't. And
You know what? I didn't smoke weed. I
there you
never
go.
even I never did anything with that until gummies came out. And
But
then
all of us that grew up in that
yeah,
charter boat dock of Crandon,
yeah, no, no, no.
that was the life. And then every private job it seemed like I took because the owners, they'd look at me and they go, I'm like, but we've already caught 40 something blue marlin. And they're like, you want to go out there? You go find me some because my bag got lost and we're not fishing without it. And I'm like,
Okay.
I guess I'll go into Las Perlas. Here we go. Because I want to catch 100 this year. So here we go.
No, no, listen.
You know?
Well, you
So
remember what we were like. It was sun up to sun down,
yeah.
no
So
matter
so
what.
now for a long time already, I've been away from all that stuff, and I hardly drink because, dude, like alcohol, I've seen in our industry it ruins so many, not only crew but owners. Like
Bro, it's
I've seen it kill so many of us, right? Kill them. Like I know why he died.
yeah,
Um, and then I've seen it ruin owners, to where they lose control of their world,
yeah. No, no.
and and the control is taken from them, and because of irrational behavior.
It's
Um,
it Alcohol is tough. I'm almost, I say almost. My next anniversary is going to be 18 years since I drank.
that's bananas because it feels like the other day.
I know. And all it was, and here's the good thing, because nowadays with social media, and I am out there quite often, I get a lot of young kids that reach out to me, 21, 22, 23.
Yeah.
Hey man, I think I got a drinking problem. I'm like, here's my phone number. Call me. We
Yes.
talk. If you're in the industry,
Yeah.
I'm kind of, and I don't want to say that I got to be careful with giving my numbers out, but if you're in the industry, here's
Yeah.
my number.
Yeah.
Whether I know you or not, if you only know me on Instagram, that's fine. You're in the industry. You're part of the fraternity. Call me.
Yeah.
Let's talk. And
Yeah.
listen, I've taken a couple of young kids to meetings. I've never been to a meeting.
Yeah.
This is 100% my choice. And there's nothing wrong with going to a meeting, but I've taken a couple kids to meetings because they felt like they needed it, but they were afraid to go by
Yeah.
themselves. And I'm like, no, let's go. And here's
That's
the other,
very noble of you.
bro, because listen, I've seen it, especially after I quit, I realized the 20-year-olds, us,
Yeah.
we drank and partied on the weekends or only when we went out.
Like
Then
if it was the Civil War and they were coming to saw our legs off.
bro, I was like, what's his face? The march to the sea, you burn everything. Bro, listen, me walking across the street to XO, we I was there with torches and pitchforks, man. I was going. But then you saw the 30 and 40-year-old captains. I'm not going out. I'm just having my rum and coke on the boat. And then you saw those 60-year-old guys that were just drunk captains.
Yeah.
Well, once I quit drinking at 35, I realized, whoa, 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 whoa. Now I'm that 35-year-old. The guys that I grew up with, they're drinking the rum and cokes on the boat and not going out. And those 40 and 50-year-olds that I used to see, now they're the drunk guys.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my God, it's just a progression.
It is. It's just not worth it. Because
No.
we're like, I'll tell you what motivates me. My little brother was born sick. He was given a bad body. It's just the way it happened. He was born sick and he died sick at 28.
Ooh.
And whenever I see any friends of mine just being an asshole to their body, I bring it up. And I'm like, hey, man, my little brother would have given anything to have your body that works perfectly fine.
Yeah.
And you're destroying it doing blow and taking pills. Dude, come on, man. You've got everything. You're a badass fisherman. You got a great job. You got a great chick. Just fucking, it's
Stop.
not worth it. Once you're off of it for a couple months, you're going to feel better and you just do other shit. Just do other shit to replace it that is going to give you the adrenaline rush. It's going to give you whatever fix you need. You can find other shit to replace it.
Exactly.
You don't need to be. And I've helped a lot of people, like, for example, cigarettes. This guy right here is my old man, right? That's me in the Glades at 6 years old.
A baby.
Okay. So I lost him because of cigarettes.
Really?
So
Lung
I'm
cancer?
a big, like, I've helped 37 people quit smoking. One of them being Harris Shootman, for example, from Coco Plum.
Okay.
What I do is I just tell them what I know about cigarettes and my experience with my dad and how I lost him at 63. And then I allow myself to be their coach, to be the person they can call at 2 a.m. and say, hey, I just had 3 glasses of wine. I really want a cigarette. Well, let me give you all the reasons why you don't.
Yeah.
And I've helped 37 people quit smoking and are still not smoking.
It wasn't my dad. Well, actually, it kind of was. Jim Lambert died because of lung cancer, because of smoking.
Yeah.
And I saw him. I was there for the last 8 years of his 8.5 years. So anytime I see somebody smoke, especially if it's somebody I like, if I don't give a shit, I'm not going to say nothing. But if I like you, I'm like, hey man, you have 2 kids. Don't you want to see them get married? What are you talking about? I go, those lung darts aren't going to help you.
No, dude.
It's not going to help you.
No.
So
going back to that elk.
Yeah, let's go back. Now that your body's in shape, you're chasing this elk, how you're able to go up and down these mountains because you need to be in shape.
You know what? Yeah. Preseason discipline matters. But it's all grit that you and I both had since day one. It's grit. That's what it is. Like, I know that eventually I'll make it there. I may not make it the first guy there, but I'll make it there. And then when I make it there, I'm going to be the most effective. Right. So if you remember where we lost ourselves in other things, I had just spotted this herd of elk and I'm moving on them. And I had to stop every 100, 150 yards because of lack of oxygen that we're not used to. And so finally I get to like 700 from them, where I could make a shot with Dottie, with Andy Moyes' rifle. And I'm like, let me get a little closer. So I gain another 150 yards and I peer over the edge and they're all there, but now they're looking down into the timber. And I'm like, what's that all about? So I start getting braced up for a shot. I range them 670. And I'm like, well, I didn't gain much, but I can make that shot.
Yeah, 670 is doable.
So I start break. All of a sudden, boom, boom. One of the bulls starts rolling down the mountain. They all take off. And I'm like, bro, I am 5 miles in and there's somebody down there. Are you kidding me? That's how much gun sucks. Gun season sucks. Yeah. So they start falling down the mountain and 2 bulls and the rest get on top of the line right on Idaho Montana line, and they start running kind of towards me. I have video of that. So I get a little improvement. Well, by the time I get a little improvement of another 150 yards, they're already in Idaho. So that was it. So I was like, I'm not coming back over here. I talked to that buddy of mine that was giving me pointers, and he's like, if that happened, dude, just leave there. Go to another mountain range. I'm going to give you a trailhead. You're going to have to figure it all out.
Again.
Because I don't have any in-depth information as to where they are right now, but just go in there and lay eyes on all the country. Don't even look in the first 3 miles. Just keep marching. Okay. So I did that, and about 4 miles back, I start seeing some sign. Fresh sign, and no humans. Because it was snow. So you could tell. No humans. No humans. This is great. So I find a group of elk in an area. I said, okay, I think I can watch this whole basin and have under 800-yard shot at the whole basin, where it seems like they're feeding on this oak brush. It's some little brush about this high that's got a different color than sage, and they were mawing it. Like you could tell in the snow that they were walking right up to it, and they were just, and you could tell it was broken off. And I was like, they really favor this stuff. Like they're eating the branches. There must be nutrition. There's no leaves left. There must be food there, you know? And so I set up above them, and nothing. Starts getting dark. And I look above that and I go, what is that? And I throw the binocs up, giant bull above timberline walking. And I look at Onyx and I go, that's Montana. I'm golden. But I go, man, there's 10 minutes left of shooting light. I'm never going to make it there. No way. So I spent the remainder of the time up there. And then when I left, I knew that maybe he could see me from up there. So I used my little red light to get out so he wouldn't see a white light moving down there. For some reason, red doesn't mess with deer and elk. So I get down the trail a little bit, and now the fog starts getting thicker as I get to the bottom, and then I had to turn on the white light. So I said, you know what? I'm not going to come tomorrow and sit on him, because I had talked to that dude that lives in Montana, and he's like, if you find a lone bull by himself during this time of year and he's feeding and he's calm, he's going to be there again the next day. That's what he's doing. He found his little safety pocket,
and he's going to stay there.
He's going to be there. So you just need to hunt him and you'll kill him. And I was all excited about that because I watched him. He was very calm, eating, take a few steps, eating, looking around, eating. And I was like, oh, that's beautiful, because the way the wind's blowing, it's going to be right in my face. All I got to do is get up there. So I went 2 days later and got up there and sat on him, didn't see shit. I was like, well, I'm going to give it a day, go somewhere else, and come back. Now I have 1 day left. I climb up there and I sit on him, and it's like 4:30. And I'm glassing everything else. And I look and I go, there's another herd of elk. So I start looking at him and I go, there's a bull. I can't tell how big he is, but he's completely different color than the other ones.
Yeah.
So that's a bull. So, I started thinking about it, man, that's like 2 miles, dude. And there's like an hour and a half of light left. I mean, I mean, I'm in really good shape now because I've done quite a bit of mountaineering at this point. Should I dive down, go up, dive down,
Ugh.
and to get there, lose several hundred, almost 1,000 feet in elevation, then gain several hundred, almost 1,000, then lose, and then gain, and then I'm there. Should I do that? And you start thinking about, oh my God, I could bust my ass again. You just and
Yeah, you start going through all the scenarios.
yeah, like we do in fishing, we go, no, we got to go.
Yeah.
Like remember when we were in Mexico and Chip, Schaefer, all those guys were right out front catching 5, 15, 12. What did we do? Me, you, and Dougie, bless his soul. We went dun, 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 and then it was insanity.
Yeah, there was more than you could ever imagine.
It was like under, over. Okay, I'm gonna put it in gear, put 2 more out. Okay, got them on there too. It was insane, same shit. You got to do what you got to do to get in the heat. So I said, I'm out of here. I put all my shit on and I took off. I dove down, went up, dove down, went up. And I said, okay. And I've got a little video on Facebook and Instagram. You can see where I'm approaching, final approach. And when I crest the ridge, I was like, they're probably not going to be there. It took me an hour to get here. And they're all there.
Oh,
I was like, all right, I just got to arrange them and make the shot because there's no more ground I can gain without them seeing me. So I got to the next little crest. I put my backpack down. I arranged them. 598. Beautiful. I can do this with Dottie.
yeah.
And, I was a little, boom, 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 boom. Took me 10 minutes. And now he's starting to drop down into a hellhole where it's over.
Yeah.
And I go, okay, I gotta stop, And my
Calm
heart
down.
went bum 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 bum. Okay, put it on him, and he folded.
One
And
shot.
I was like, yes, yes, right. So I make the little video that you saw on Facebook
Yeah.
and Instagram. He's down, yes, right. I put the phone down, put it in my little bino thing, where it holds my phone and my rangefinder.
Yeah.
And I look up and he stands up.
No.
No, he just got hit with a 300 Ultra. I literally saw the dirt explode from his shoulder. And he's standing there going, and we don't like to see animals suffer. And
No.
certainly don't want them to go off the abyss
And die.
yards away, where getting him out will be 10 times harder. So I reload, put it on him. Boom. He soaks up another hit. And he starts walking. And I go, are you kidding me, dude? I put another one in him. Boom, 3rd shot. He falls, and I go, okay, I got to get closer. I don't know where that one hit, And I gain like 300 yards, and he stands up.
Otra vez.
Bro, unbelievable, dude. They're I mean, think about it. An arrow last year at 64 yards, went through the elk. He took 2 steps and fell down the mountain. And this is a 300 Ultramax. I'm telling you that I think an arrow is more effective.
I'd rather get hit by a bullet than an arrow. An arrow's gonna kill you.
I don't know what to tell you, man. I just know that most animals I've shot with an arrow don't live very long.
Yeah.
And I've had many instances with really good shots with a rifle, and they go forever. And this was going to be one of them. So I finally get 240 yards away. I range him, and he's getting ready to fall over the abyss. He's got 10 yards, and he's maybe 15, and he's gone.
Your first
maybe 30.
Your first shot was at 598, and you've gotten up to 250. So
after putting 3 in him,
so
it's
been a while, and he's still standing.
Unbelievable, dude. So he's there doing this shit, and I put one in him, and I laid him out.
Okay.
So I was like, thank God, dude, because the last thing I wanted him to do is fall down that abyss, because then I know what's on the other side of that. It's like this.
Yeah, no.
And then you got to crawl. First of all, you got to clean him on an incline, which is a nightmare. Because you let's say you put a big chunk of meat inside your pillowcase, because that's what I use instead of game bags, and you lay it down and it rolls down the mountain. I've already had it happen. And then you got to chase that pillowcase full of meat, or worse, it comes out of the pillowcase and gets full of dirt.
Oh,
yeah. So all that
is
shit.
that what you're using? You're using pillowcases?
Pillowcases. My buddy Rick Weeder, who has hunted a lot in a lot of places, and he had done some Alaska moose hunts. When I was going on my moose hunt, he's like, "Why are you using?" Because he's like, "Show me your gear," you know. And I was FaceTiming him. Okay, I got this and that, this and that. And he's like, "Why are you using those piece of shit game bags?" And I go, "I don't know. That's just what people use." He's like, "Do yourself a favor. Go to Walmart and buy some king size pillow shams. They're
Oh
cheap.
my gosh.
When you're done with it, you throw them away. Throw them away. And they're a lot more sturdy. They don't break. They breathe. They soak up the blood. It's really great. And that's what I've used ever since.
Have you tried opening them up and putting a drawstring around the top?
So what I do, no, but what I do is I stand them up and I fill them to like 45, 50 pounds.
Okay.
And then I tie them in. You got so much left.
Oh, you just tie it in a knot.
In a knot.
Oh, hurrying.
So then I take 2 of those at a time out, which is about 100 pounds, which is a nightmare to get on your back.
Oh.
Like, you don't just throw this on your back.
No.
You set it on its side. You lay down beside it. You stick your arms through it, right? Then you take the waist portion and you strap it real tight, and then the chest portion and you strap that, and then you slowly come to your knees or like your face and cocking balls on the ground and face on the ground. And then you get your hands under you, and then you push up, and then you get your knees up, and then you should have either walking sticks, which is what I use because there was no trees, or a tree in front of you when you plan this out to help yourself get up. And then when you're up, you're like, everything hurts. Hips, knees, ankles, toes.
And your trip out hasn't even begun.
You got 5 miles, dude, of this. Look.
Oh my God.
So both angles suck. When you're going down, you slip and fall. When you go up, you slip and fall. It's just brutality. So
no, going down is worse.
It's all worse. It all sucks.
Yeah.
Even flat. Like you're going down an elk trail, you know, because you've got it marked, because Onyx has amazing features. Like you can track the tracker, and you could track your exact same steps out. So you don't have to get caught in a bunch of lodge poles or anything. So like I'm walking out, and what was perfectly fine earlier is now ice this thick. And you're walking, all of a sudden it's schwa! And since I was worried for Andy's gun, I always kept it in front of me. I'd fall and I wouldn't care about my well-being. I would just
protect Dottie
and give Dottie the love she deserves. And I'd fall on my back or on my side or on my other side. And then I'd be like, okay, nothing's sticking out. We're good. You know, and then do it again. And that, dude, on average, I fell an average of 6 to 10 times every time on the way in and every time on the way out.
How many trips did you make back and forth to get all your meat?
3. The first one was like 70 pounds. You know, it was back straps and the eye of the rounds of the hams, and then my backpack and the head. So it was like 70 pounds of meat and then all that other shit. And so that, you know, that was enough. And then the second trip was all meat, and the third trip was all meat. And all I did was I had this frame pack. You get them at Cabela's for $100, and it's just a frame with a shelf and the ability for you to tie the meat onto it. And I had this frame pack, so I was able to tie everything on and just bring a bottle of water. And the walk in is amazing because you're going in with a bottle of water. You've never done that, you know, in those mountains, right? You're walking in like, oh, this is going to be great. You know? And then you strap that 100 pounds on and you roll over and you stand up and you go, oh, wow, this is going to suck. And there's not a better feeling in the world. Oh, wait, it gets better. So the last trip, I back into the Razor. And as I'm backing into the Razor, which is like an ATV that my buddy that lives there that I told you I've become friends with,
He lent
and
you.
he comes over here. I take him fishing. He lends me. I think as I was backing up to it, I see it kind of like this, and I was like, oh yeah. So I just back up and I pop these straps. I pop my waist. The meat falls, and I look, flat tire. 3 o'clock in the morning, flat tire. Yeah.
Is that your second trip back at 3 o'clock in the morning, or is that your third and final?
No, so that's my first one, the first night.
Oh,
Right. 3 o'clock in the morning. There it is. And so it took me 2 hours to change a tire, and I'll tell you why. He's like, hey, I got this great electric jack. You're going to love it. It's fantastic. You plug it in and you hit the button and it raises the ATV. So what a lot of people don't know is that these and he didn't know because he hasn't had a flat. When you raise these ATVs, the suspension goes like this and it just keeps going. So you got to get it so high before the tire comes off the ground.
yeah.
So it starts to teeter. And I'm like, if it teeters over now that I have the tire off and falls on the brakes and the whole wheel assembly, oh my God, dude, I'm 15 miles back. This is bananas. And it's 4:40 in the morning. So I had to grab the ATV with my left hand, stand up the tire with my right hand, and pull as hard as I can so it wouldn't teeter because the jack was about to teeter and fall over.
Oh my God.
And then line up the tire somehow as I'm doing all that shit. And then finally get it on there and oh my God, please let me get a bite on one bolt. One nut. And dude, when I got it all on there, now I forgot to tell you this part. The only reason I couldn't improve the angle of the teetering is because the down switch wasn't working.
Oh.
So now I got the tire on, but it's fully to the top and I can't get it off. So I said, okay, let me study this because I have to get off this jack. So if I put it forward, it's going to go into the radiator. It's going to just destroy some shit when it falls off.
Yeah.
If I go backwards, I have a good chance that it's not going to go up into, like, there's a plate right there, it's my best chance. So I put it in reverse and I just punch it and no problem. I threw that extended pile of shit in the back along with the meat. And by the time I got out to the truck, it was 6:30 in the morning. So now I had been up for 28 hours. And I said, you know what? I can't go back now. I got to get a few hours sleep. I can't.
So that was your second trip. So you still
no, that
had
was my first one.
Oh, that was your first one. So you still had two more trips to go.
Yeah.
But you needed a couple hours of sleep.
I slept till 10. I got to the Airbnb at 7. I slept like till 10:30, so 3.5 hours. I got up still destroyed, pile of shit, worthless. But I knew I had to go out there because everything is in the wide open, and the magpies are going to pick on the carcass first.
Mm-hmm.
And there was no trees to tie up the meat. I could have drug it a couple hundred yards or, to a formidable tree, but there's really no grizzlies in that particular area. So I didn't have to worry about that. Yeah. I didn't see one bear scat anywhere. My archery area, there's a bear scat every 100 yards. Yeah. So you can't do that there.
Yeah.
So I said, but I still got to get there at a reasonable time because the sun's going to start shining on the meat. And even though the ground is frozen, it's probably half frozen from being out there all night. I don't want to push it. So I just took off and I got up there around 3:30 and loaded another load. The meat was fine. And out I went, and got it out, came back, and boy, when I strapped that last load on, I was like, Lord, please protect my knees, my ankles, my hips, my everything. I just got one more trip, and I made it. And that last, when I dropped that thing, so let me tell you about another negative aspect about hunting gun season in Montana. So one of the spots, the spot where I had all those elk,
Mm-hmm.
when I left that evening after seeing all the elk, they got shot at, the ones before that were on the wrong side. When I was walking out, I get to the ranger and it's flat. This is before the flat from killing him. And
Yeah.
I go, wow, that's weird because I'm going down roads that everybody goes down. So all the rocks are smooth. There should be no sharp rocks. That's weird. But you know what? Hey, I got a flat. So I used my can of Fix-A-Flat.
Okay.
So I'm driving out, and there's like a 200-yard swath on the backside of a hill. When I crest the hill, right there is 3 locals camped out. And they're standing outside by the fire like this, looking at me. And the 305 gangster, I got out of the ghetto mentality hits me, and I go, those motherfuckers gave me a flat because they want to hunt here in the morning and they want to burn my morning up because they know I'm going to have to go check the tire.
Oh, wow.
And they did that, dude. They cost me an entire day, basically. I had to go, find a tire shop that's open on a Sunday. And because, you got to check the tire, you got to do it right, and then you got to fix it. So I found a place by 10 o'clock in the morning, 10:30 in the morning. And then the guy had a bunch of people there, and, he's the only guy open in the 60 miles radius. And so he was able to tell me there's nothing wrong with your tire.
They just let the air out.
He let the fucking air out, dude. Yeah. So I don't want to go ever again for gun. You can have that shit.
Yeah.
Everybody's hates everybody. It's just not cool. Everybody's double crossing everybody. Like I found in another spot, I was above, it was like 8 o'clock in the morning, and everything was just starting to get shitty, where the elk, you're probably not going to see one. And I look and I go, oh my God, there's 2 elk. So I glass them, and it's 2 big bulls, and they're like walking carefully, looking around, and they slip into a little chunk of timber, maybe 10 acres. And I could see all the way around the timber from up there. And I'm like, oh, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm just going to sit my ass here all day. And when you guys come out in the evening, I range, and the furthest shot was 660. And I was like, when you guys come out this evening, I'm killing one of you. This is fantastic, right? Wrong. 2 hours later, here comes 2 idiots cresting that same hill, looking down into that little pine chunk, and immediately the 2 bulls run out the other side and they're gone.
Oh,
So I was like, bro, I'm 4.5 miles in here, dude. And there's people everywhere. So I just don't, it's just not, my experience in hunting has been in the glades. That's where I cut my teeth, where I don't see people, dude. And that's where I derive my pleasure and joy, is the backcountry experience, where you don't have Tom, Dick, and Harry behind every tree in Orange.
oh my gosh.
And it seemed like even that far back, that was happening. So at the end of the day, you can have it. I'm just going to work harder during archery and try to stay longer to get it done, if and when I draw again in the not so distant future. So,
Man.
yeah. But anyway, that was the elk, and I've had a lot of really good. I worked on a program. I can't mention it, but if you remember, I was a ranch manager for 16 years in Central
No,
Florida.
I remember you had a great ranch that you took
That
care
was
of.
amazing, right? Well, through them, I was able to do a lot of hunting in Montana, which is where I learned Montana.
Yeah.
And they used to have a concession for guided elk hunts. And when the wolves were brought in, it destroyed the elk herd. The Northwest Territory, Mackenzie River Valley non-indigenous wolves that they released into the Yellowstone ecosystem because of the wolves save rivers bullshit. And they released them, and then they basically ate themselves out of house and home in the entire Gallatin. And so they had to give up the concession. And I fell in love with elk hunting during those years that I got to go with them.
Yeah.
And so I kept going. I just started finding little pockets of elk here and there, and I just kept going. And I learned a lot from their guides. And during those years, I also got to do a lot of public land mule deer hunting, which is also amazing in Montana. There's so many chunks of public land that are hidden and obscure where you don't see anybody, dude. And you could literally crawl up on top of ridges and glass and find mule deer. And then you just make a plan.
Yeah.
Okay, I can tuck down behind this hill and I can get, looks like 50 yards from them. And then I'll creep over the top and wait for them to stand up, because that's one thing about mule deer is you can't go, man, and make them stand up like a whitetail. When you go, man, they stand up and they start running.
They start jumping.
Yeah, they do not like stand up and look like, what was that? They don't do that. I learned that lesson the hard way many times. So what you do is you get within bow range and you just lay there and you wait for them to stand up, and you have it perfectly ranged. And then when they stand up on their own, you make the shot. And that was a lot of fun. And that's very doable. There's enough public land with enough big muleys. That's very doable. Here's one that I killed over there doing that, which is a good muley.
Oh my gosh, that's a nice one. That's a real nice one.
Yeah, still got velvet hanging.
Oh, you shot him early.
Yeah. Yep. This is, public land, do it yourself. And the guy that I kind of guided killed an even bigger one. I mean, and there was still 4 other bucks we knew of that we could have gone back with other people, but nobody wanted to go, of that group.
Yeah.
But it's that kind of, like, to me, like, going with a guide is fine. I don't have anything negative to say about that. It's just, for me, on a personal level, like when I drew my Maine moose tag, I got on this Facebook page called Maine Moose Hunters. And they were all like, oh, if you don't get a guide, you're going to eat a tag sandwich. And I was like, I'm not getting a guide. That's not happening. And they're like, well, you're going to waste your once-in-a-lifetime tag because you're not going to kill a bull. And these are just normal people, not guides like trying to,
trying to sell you something. They're just
telling me that it's not going to happen. So I said, you know what? I've hunted long enough. I'm going to give myself 4 days to scout. So I went 4 days and I had a ball. I took my little single shot Ithaca 410 gauge and I shot my limited grouse, which is 4 grouse, every day while scouting moose. So I would walk into an area that I found with this amazing, that you can call an airstrike in with. And I'd be like, there's got to be moose here because there's water, there's dry ridges, there's topography. I'm going to go in there and look, moose everywhere. So I had like 15 bulls scouted before the opener. So I knew I was going to kill one. I mean, I just had to, the challenge was to try to get one with a bow.
Yeah.
And I knew that they could be called in because one of the spots I saw a bull by a meadow, by a little, like a stream. And I did the, dude immediately goes like this. And I go, oh shit, I don't even know how to call those things. And then I went, oh, dude, here he comes. And I'm like, he's fucking coming. I gotta get the fuck out of here. And dude,
don't
as I was
up.
leaving, climbing the little bit of the mountain, he was standing where I was standing in 5 minutes.
Wow.
like this, like, all right, bitch, where are you?
I
And
know
so
you're
I
here
was like,
somewhere.
so I'm like, oh, I'm gonna kill one, dude. This is just, and I had a great time scouting because I shot my 4 grouse and I made en fricassé. Yeah, I made un sofrito and I cooked them in un sofrito, slow bubbling them
Oh,
with raisins, to give them
oh,
that little sweet taste.
sweetness.
And oh my dude, they were fall off the bone. It was unbelievable. And I made some wild rice to have with it, and
Yeah.
it was a so for me, part of the experience, which going back to the whole sonar thing, um, I embrace it and it's gives you a lot more opportunities to bend the rod for your people, which is what
Yeah.
we're there for.
Correct.
But it's still, I kind of miss when we were all out there just glassing. Like I remember one time with Baxter, we were we were in third in the BBC, and we had won a little bit of money, and I was a mate back then, and I remember we saw a swirl like 1,000 yards away, just a swirl. But you know why we saw it? Because we're up in the tower hunting.
And you're looking.
We're not on the bridge with our feet up, jamming music, and we're up on the
No.
tower hunting. And I see a swirl, and I go, right there. I got my eyes on it. Just go that way. I don't know where it is, but let's go. We went up there, 4:45, 4:25. I don't know. As soon as we pulled through where the swirl used to be, we raised a little male on the short, and he was there. And all of a sudden, the long ride comes down tight. And we kill the fish, and we won money, dude. We won Boat Harbor, $121,000
Wow.
on a swirl.
But you were
So,
looking.
but that's what I mean. So I missed that. Like that, you can still do that, but it's hard because now most captains are like this.
In the sonar.
They just have their head buried. Like I just used this fella as a mate 2 days ago. We went shower fishing, caught a few sails off of Ocean Reef, and I used him. And he was telling me,
Explain to everybody what shower fishing is so they understand.
so shower fishing is basically this time of year. The sailfish are inside of the edge. So the edge is where it goes from 40, 60, 70, 80, 100, boom, right? And they're here on the reef and they're chasing ballyhoo, giant schools of ballyhoo, 80 yards in diameter. And then it looks like showering, right? Because
Yeah.
it's a bunch of ballyhoo skipping, and then the frigate birds fold and come down, and they try to take advantage and pick off one of those.
One of
And
those
the sails are
ballyhoos.
there. So then your challenge as a captain or a crew, right? But as the captain is to get upwind so your mate or your anglers can make a downwind cast and up light. So the light behind you, so
Yeah.
you could actually see the fish and go 3 o'clock, 80 yards, 3 o'clock, 70 yards, 60, 50, throw. And then you pull the boat out of gear and the ballyhoo goes like this. He's chasing a ballyhoo. It hits. Plus, you got to match the hatch. Remember, I didn't tell you that part. You
Yeah.
have to go catch the ballyhoo in the morning, first thing in the morning, so you can match the hatch. Because if you try to throw a sardine or a goggle eye, eight
They
times
won't
out of
eat it.
10, they're not going to eat it. 2 times out of 10, they'll eat it. But I like 10 out of 10.
Yeah, you and me both.
Yeah. So you throw the ballyhoo, it lands, he eats it. So anyway, I was doing some shower fishing with a mate, and he had just spent the season in St. Thomas with a really good captain that you and I both know. And he's like, dude, it's this sonar shit, man. And I go, what do you mean? He's like, yeah, man, like my captain just has his head in there. He doesn't even look at the bait. So I got to go up to the bridge while he's staying with the fish and look at the baits so I can call it, even though he tells me it looks like he's coming up on the short left. I still gotta
You got to see
call
it.
it and say, hey, get the big pitch out, get the small pitch out. He's not that aggressive. rip the lure to try to get him hotter. He's got to call it. So it's just changed everything. When you and I used to just be in the pit and we had to react to whatever was thrown at us, right?
At a split second.
Yeah. Now you have kind of a heads up which bait he's coming up on. And then you have an additional person that's giving you the attitude of the fish, so you know how you need to deploy and engage him. So all of those things are just, listen, I know you and me, we're both very happy to be part of this amazing time.
Yeah,
right?
no, it's changed, and I'm happy that we're enjoying it.
Yes. But at the same time, I kind of missed the nostalgia of, for example, watching, our favorite rabbi hook another monster. You're like, bro, look at what's jumping behind his boat.
He's amazing.
What the fuck is that? That's a goddamn building falling behind his boat. He did it again.
He was
no
so
sonar,
good.
Dude.
He was so good at it, man.
No sonar. He just, hey, I'm gonna put this piece. Look at this piece. This piece is going out tomorrow. Hey, Andy, come here. Look at this piece. You can't touch it. You can't touch it. You can't.
He was fucking great. He's still great. Thank God he's still alive.
I mean, and so that nostalgia, that feeling is kind of going away because it just, and I get it. Who wants to catch less? Nobody.
No.
So I get it. If I ever had an owner that was, all into it again, I'd be the first one to hire another person.
And your job is to look at that screen all day long.
That's it, man. That's it. Because I don't want to lose the looking part. The hey, I saw a little swirl on the long. Everybody watch along. Oh, he's on the short right, but everybody keep watching along. I don't want to lose that.
Yeah.
That's where I still think it's amazingly fun. So I'll just give that to somebody like, I hear Mark Pagano is one of the best.
He's very good.
I'd hire him in a second. What do you need, bro? 1,000 a day? Okay, just come on. Whatever. I'd hire somebody like that can just work that box and keep their head in that box and just, help. It's
one of the best guys. There's a handful of guys that are Steve Lasley's phenomenal with it.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know Steve.
Yeah.
Jason Buck from the Gulf. But this guy, Tommy Francis, he won the World Cup this year on the Ultimate Lady.
Oh.
And they have a catamaran. So one pontoon has the sonar, one pontoon has the depth finder on it. And when I fished the reef in Australia, 17 or 18, everybody was telling me some of the things he did. So I went to his boat. By this time I was already running the World Cup. So I was always in communication with Tommy. So I said, "Hey man, show me your sonar." Again, this was 7 years ago.
Yeah.
So not all the boats had it, but
yeah.
On the reef, if the tide is right, you fish the reefs, the edge of the reefs in the morning where the tide is coming out. But if the tide is not right, you have to go looking for them. And I would hear stories where Tommy would go out and he'd wander 2 or 3 miles, and next thing you know, boom, he'd find them and he'd find a pocket of it. So I asked him, I said, "Hey, I heard a rumor, and tell me if I'm wrong in this rumor, that you can tell the difference between a blue marlin and a black marlin
on the sonar."
On the sonar. He goes,
bananas.
He goes, "Oh yeah, that's easy. That's the easiest." He said, "I can tell the difference between a blue and a black easier than I can tell between a shark and not."
Damn it, man.
And I'm like, "Really? Can you tell me?" He goes, "Well, the black marlin he goes, I don't know what it is, if it's an air bladder or something inside of them, which gives me a bright pink, almost white dot."
Damn it, man.
He goes, so I know that it's a black marlin instead of a blue marlin.
That's crazy.
And I go, so when you're offshore looking, when the moon cycle's not good, I go, how far? He goes, right about 1,500 meters, which
Oh
is a
my,
mile.
that's
It's a
bananas. And he
mile.
can find them.
He can find him. Boom. There he is. Go for a mile.
Dude, that's like, think about it. That's just, it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's amazing the tools we have. And you're right. I do miss staying up in the tower. Ooh, there's one flying fish getting up.
Dude,
That's
flying fish.
one single flying
One.
fish.
How many fish has that caught us? My
Bro,
God.
one single. Wait a second. Why did you get up out there on one of them flat, calm Bahamian
Yeah.
days? It's flat, calm, and then suddenly, tush. What? Why? Let's go look.
Yeah.
Let's go look. And you
Yeah.
go and you look, and next thing you know, wapow,
Yeah.
right there. So, um, and I, man, there's one thing I hate. And it's so funny because you quickly was going down that route, and then you like, no, 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 no. Well, we wanted to talk bad about this next generation. And and I appreciated that you changed it because it's different, man. It's
Yeah.
just a different
No,
generation. It
I
won't.
don't have anything against it. I
No,
embrace it.
no. You were really quick to, hey, no, no, I
Yeah.
take it back.
I embrace
Because
it.
listen, there was things in our generation that were
Yeah.
new, you
Dude,
know?
great example. I go to Mexico, right? I'll never forget this. And we're doing great. Like the first couple of years, I got my ass kicked by everybody. Archie, Chip, everybody. And they purposely would call me on the way
Yeah.
in and go, "Hey Andy, how you doing?" And I'd be like, "Oh, good, sir. How are you? How was your day?" "Oh, well, we went 21 for 26." And I'd be like, and they're like, "How'd you do?" And I'd be like, oh, "I went 7 for 11, you know, or 7 for 17, whatever, retarded crap."
Yeah.
And I'll never forget how much they used to beat me up, right? Well, then the third year I got there and I switched everything and I started scouting, like running all over the place and finding shit and trends. And I started hammering them.
Yeah.
Well, one day they show up at my boat and they're like, "We don't understand what you're doing with all those spinners." And I go, "Well, wait a minute. This is how we fish back home.
Yeah.
So we came here to practice with the same tackle." "Well, those should be legal here in Mexico because we think that you guys are live baiting." "What? I don't have anything to catch a live bait. I don't have my wells. I don't have any built-in wells. What am I putting them in a bucket? I mean, come on, man. Just leave me alone. Just because I'm doing good this year, and I get to call you now and say, 'Hey, how you doing?' Now I'm an asshole. Now I'm doing something fucked up, dude." A few days later, here comes Jim. Remember Jim from Cancun?
Oh, Jim from Hacienda Del Mar.
Yep.
Absolutely.
He comes over. He's like, "Hey, Andy, I like you. I go, "What's going on, Jim? I mean, just spit it out." He's like, "Well, the federales might come and have a talk with you." I go, "What?"
For what?
And he's like, "Well, apparently, everybody here is a lot of guys here." I knew who they were.
Yeah.
A lot of guys here are concerned about, you using spinners every day and, what you're doing. Are you casting to the fish? And I'm like, "Are we're really doing this, Jim?" He's like, "Look, it's not me. I just have to tell you so you know that they're probably going to come and talk to you." And I was like, "Bring them. Bring them." Dude, 2 hours later, down the dock, I look, I go, "Here they come." And I told my boss, "Just let me talk." Dude, I had the guys rolling in laughter because I speak Spanish.
Yeah.
And the
That
clowns
helps.
that called them on me don't. and I had them rolling in laughter, and I showed them every hatch on the boat. I go, what? Where? Come on, how? Where am I going to hold them in a bucket? You know, like what? Like 5 baits? You think I'm going to catch 32 with 5 baits in a bucket? I mean, and then that was it. But even that was something that now everybody's past. I'm friends with all those guys again. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's
It's
just
just the competitive nature.
just like the sonar is now.
Yeah.
It's kind of, you know, like to me, it was an edge to have a virtually flawless drop back with a spinner
100%.
where you don't have to start spinning the reel and have pressure. Now, I know that a lot of people are good enough to go like this, right?
Yeah.
But a spinner, I had it in a rubber band or in a piece of
Wire.
telephone wire, and it came out of the rigger and then popped out of there, and it was complete and total free spin. And at that point, we didn't have to use circle hooks yet.
No, no, that was where J Hook days.
So I used salmon hooks.
The best.
Deadly, bro. A 5.0 salmon hook.
The best.
Spitting. They all came up spitting sardines and, you know, all of them.
Yeah.
And like our hookup was amazing, especially once I started figuring out where they actually were. That wasn't right there.
Yeah, you had
That
to run
was,
up to the north a little bit.
yeah, that was
That
further.
was, I think that was the same year that we caught the 120.
Yes, you did.
That
Yeah.
was the year when I had Hottie,
Yeah.
Neely, the Bad Orange.
Hottie
Uh,
and Andy Moyes are going to spend Christmas here with me.
are they really?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome. I gotta
Yeah.
call Hottie. I saw a picture of him with a big bass the other day online.
Yeah.
I gotta call him up.
Yeah. I got off the phone with him this morning. We talk every day.
Oh, bro.
Yeah, yeah,
I learned so much from that guy.
he's a good man. He's salt of the
Listen,
earth. He's trying to get back into it. He's going with Kenny Ross to Panama.
okay.
They leave whatever in a couple weeks. So
I just saw Kenny this week.
yeah, he's coming back in down here in a week, and yeah, so he's going to be here in Christmas, and so is Andy. We're going to cook a pig and
Andy shot a nice
fire.
moose. Andy shot a nice moose this year.
Yeah.
Up in
With Dottie.
with Dottie. I saw him on the way up because I was in Nova Scotia, and
Yeah,
he drove through Nova Scotia and then took the ferry over to Newfoundland.
yeah,
So
yep,
I didn't see him on the way back. I know he stopped for a couple days. We were fishing. So,
yeah.
but yeah, I did see a video of him grinding the moose up.
But think about how blessed we are to think about how many people, like when I get on the highway and I'm heading over to Ocean Reef,
Yeah.
there is the entire miserable population going north, going 5 miles an hour, starting at 5:15 in the morning. Doesn't matter how early you leave. I guess you'd have to leave at 3. And
To
they're
work in
there
a
just
cubicle.
to work in a cubicle, bro. And they're fuck you. You know, it just sucks. And I'm going 75 towards Ocean Reef, not a care in the world, watching that gridlock. And then I do my thing at Ocean Reef, and then I come back and they're doing it on the way down
No,
again.
thank you.
So they invest about 1.5 to 2.5 hours every day of their, no, well, I'm sorry, 1.5 times 2. So 3.5 to 4 hours every day of their life.
Just getting to and back from work.
And you and I have gotten to get paid. I mean, my first international trip, I did the charter boat for 3 years. And at 18, I had a guy who had gone fishing. And I didn't even know that he had such a good time. Get on the boat and say, hey, you want a job? And I'm cutting fish in Crandon. And I'm like, what do you mean? You know, what's going on?
I got a
Well,
job.
you know, we're going to do an international tour. and you know, I fished with you here with some people, and I like you, you know, and I think you'd be great. And I'm like, wow, sounds great, you know. And you remember JD Tubbs?
I remember the name Tubbs.
Yeah. So JD Tubbs is this guy right here,
Oh, okay.
the long hair right here on the leader of that trophy.
That's a cool
So
trophy.
thanks, man. That's BBC first place. Um, so so JD right away calls me up. He's like, "Hey, man, that guy you're going with, just gonna let you know, you know." And I was like, "Well, bro, I mean, think about this opportunity. I'm 18. I'm getting paid 1,000 a week cash,
Oh, wow.
all expenses paid. Back then, dude, that's like bananas for a mate. Remember?
Yeah, no, I remember.
So, so, and we're gonna do the Bahama chain, and then we're gonna do Turks and Caicos, then we're gonna do Puerto Rico, St. Thomas, then we're gonna do Aruba, Jamaica, Cayman, Mexico, Venezuela. And he's like, I know the whole drill, dude, but I'm telling you that guy, I don't want to name the guy,
Yeah, no, don't name him.
but
Don't name
he's
him.
like, it's a disaster. You're gonna hate life. And I'm like, JD, dude, I got to do this. I mean, I'm just going to do it. Best thing I ever did. We caught so many goddamn, I don't even know, bro, hundreds of bill. It was great.
That's
It
why
was
we
great.
did it.
I did it. I got to go to Venezuela, you know, I got to do, and then later I went back on the jungle gym, you know, and I got to do all that. And it was amazing. Now, the sail fishing, I didn't get to do it badass because the guy was very limited in his beliefs. Like, for example, I had brought a bunch of homemade strips,
Uh-huh.
bonita belly strips, all salted, and I stuck them in the freezer, like 80 of them that I cut myself. And I was all excited because I had already won the North South tournament. That's an old
Oh my
tournament.
God, I remember that tournament.
Yeah, I won. Remember, it was like 80 boats on the north and 80 boats on the south, and it was 300 points for dead bait fish and 100 points for live bait fish. And I had already won that thing, which I had bought a new truck uh, with strips. So we're in Mexico, and I pull out my strips and I'm rigging them, and this ornery ass old captain walks up and he's like, "What the fuck is that?" And I go, "It's a strip with a pink sea witch. It's like amazing." It's like, he's like, "That's bullshit." And he throws them all in the water, dude. Yes.
No.
So I was appalled, but I knew that I better just shut the fuck up. I'm just a mate
Yep.
and rig what he wants and be done with it. Right. Well, when he walked away, I grabbed the net and another, like a scrub brush, and I kind of got him off the bottom and I netted them all up.
Yeah.
And then I still had 50 in the
Yeah.
freezer. So I immediately knew he was going to get drunk and go over there and throw them all away. So I
So you
grabbed them and I went over to JD's boat and I put them in the freezer.
you hit
And
him.
JD's like, "Yeah, bro, listen, that's not going to end well. You'll be fishing with me here soon."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Oh, okay. I just don't like joining a program and not seeing it through. I want to make
Yeah,
it."
no, you want to be right.
Yeah. So make a long story short, the guy gets in trouble with some stuff, and next thing you know, the owner's like, "Bring the boat home." Some stuff.
Yeah, whatever. Back in the day.
And and JD's like, you ain't living, man. You're staying here with me. Dude, the very next day we had a triple on the strips.
Oh,
Jumping over each other.
oh my God, that's so hilarious. Yeah,
Yeah.
listen, when you're younger,
Yeah.
you're willing to put up with more crap because you want to go fishing.
Yeah.
And I did the same thing. When I
Dude, he would throw, listen to this. I got to say this before I forget.
say,
He would throw a full Coke can at the center of your back if you did something he didn't like and you didn't immediately turn around and kiss his ass. It won't happen again, sir. Don't you worry. You know, if you just said, I got it, and you turned around and get boom. Yeah.
Bro, that's enough to get punched.
Yeah. You know who was with me on that? Come arepa.
Come arepa.
He was the second mate.
Oh my God. He's a good dude.
He was the second mate. And he looked at me and he's like, yo no sé cómo tú lo vas a matar. Like, I don't know how you're not going to go up there and kill him. And I go, I just got to make this trip. This is good for my future. You know, I just got to finish this trip, you know, and I, you know, I made it through all of it. The last stop was Mexico. But buddy, it was one, like you said, when we're young, we just, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
You know, fuck.
My first time I went to Venezuela was with Ed Roger. And I'm not going to go into detail, but you know, and anybody that knows him that's listening to this knows I got a lot of wheel time as a young kid. I got a lot of wheel time. I was whatever I was, 22, 23 years old. And, but I wanted to go fishing, man. I wanted to be in Venezuela. And then lucky for me, once Ed was gone, Billy Bohr took the spot. And
yes.
Bro.
The real deal, Holyfield.
Bro.
Yeah.
Billy, let me tell you, and rest his soul because he just passed away.
Yeah.
I don't even think it's been a year yet. I had some of my best memories were with Billy because Billy was a Red Sox fan. I'm a Yankee fan. So our summers really were our springs and our summers were every time that those two were playing. Our apartment in Venezuela, the only TV we had was in his bedroom. I would get one of them folding chairs and I'd sit there and we'd pick on each other nonstop all night long. And then the next day, my seat on that game fisherman on the topless was right there on the bridge because there's a tiny bridge. And Scott would sit right below me. Randy Yates would be on the other, and me and Billy would just rib each other about baseball all day long.
Damn it,
but
man.
One thing about Billy, it didn't matter where you were, when it was, what was happening. You always felt that you had a chance. You're gonna get a bite because that was Billy. Billy was phenomenal fisherman. Phenomenal fisherman. He was so good at what he did.
And what a nice guy.
Oh my gosh.
What a nice guy. I remember I had something go wrong with my freezer and we were in St. Thomas, I want to say. It might have been Puerto Rico. I don't know where we were, but I had somebody unplugged it by mistake and I lost the first layer of bait, which was all my pitch mackerels. And he sees me throwing them all away, you know, and then the bottom ones were questionable, you know, the blood was turning black, you know, everything. And then the very bottom was fine, but like it was this deep. So the first layer was gone. It had been 3-4 days, you know. And when you'd open them, you'd be like, oh, and then you'd try to touch them. Well, maybe we could salt them and wash them. And they, you know, your fingers go right through. So that was my test as I went down the layers. If my finger went through them, they were ruined. So he walks up and he's like, hey, don't sweat it, man. I'll be right back till you get covered. And he even put me in contact with a boat that was coming.
Oh, really?
That maybe I could contact him in time, which we did. And then they would bring me more bait, which they did.
Beautiful.
Yeah. So, you know, things like that in our industry that have happened and we're just, we don't forget it. You know what I mean? Like,
no.
Like, I don't forget it. I don't forget everything. I don't forget fishing with Jimmy Lewis, dude. I mean, the things that happened with us, like we had this lure we called Emily. And remember Frank Johnson from Softhead Lures? Moldcraft.
Yeah. Frank Johnson Sr.
Yeah, senior. So he was a trip, bro.
Oh my God. Great.
He was a trip. So one day he walks up to me and he's like, hey, I see you're a big fan of our lures. I go, yeah, there's two of them I like, that I always try to keep them out. I've done very well with them. I like them. And he's like, I'm going to give you one that is like an anomaly. And I go, okay, what's up with that? He's like, well, when it came out of the mold, it's got a lot more cup than any of them. So I'm not sure how it's going to do, but I know you're going to put it out. So he gave it to me. And we ended up calling that lure Emily. It was a pink and white wide range. No big deal, right? Dude, we caught 33 blue marlin on that day.
Wow.
It was retarded. Like, up until the day we lost it, it was like, if you raise them anywhere in the spread, he's going to come up and eat Emily. It's just a matter
Yeah.
of time. Or many times we'd just be trolling and it'd be like, oh, on Emily. And then you look back and it'd be, boom, oh my God, Emily again. And, and, guys like that, dude, like I remember, so many nights that old man would be like he was 20.
Oh my gosh. That's an understatement. He was more like he was 16.
It was awesome, dude. Like I'd look at him and go, I want to be like that when I'm old.
Bro, some of the guys, listen, I can't go on without Jim Lambert.
Yeah.
Bro, I, the fact that I was lucky enough and blessed enough
Yeah.
to have him in my life for eight and a
Yeah.
half years.
Him and Sam Jennings, probably the best anglers to have ever
You,
thus far.
you know who else is really good? And I only fished with him once. I fished with him for 3 days with Stuart Campbell.
Oh yeah.
Bro,
I
let me
never
tell you,
got to fish with him.
he came down to fish with us in St. Thomas. Here's a funny story. So, our dock where we stayed at the T head of
Yeah.
on Sea Dock in American Yacht Harbor. Every morning, for 14 years, every morning I would walk behind XO and I would run the mountain. I'd wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning.
I
Every
remember.
morning, I'd go do 10 wind sprints, come
Yeah.
back, take a shower, start my day. And then during the day, I'd sit there and I'd do push-ups all day long.
Yeah.
So, and I just do them on the covering board so I can watch the spread, but I'm just trying to keep active because
Yeah.
I don't want to sit on my ass all day long.
Yeah.
So Stuart Campbell, I don't know how old he was. He was in his mid to late 60s at the time. I've been doing them all morning. He comes up to me. He goes, how many of those you think you can do at one shot? I go, sir, to be honest with you, I just do them until I'm tired. It's
Yeah.
just to keep me busy. And he goes, I bet you I can do more than you.
Come
And
on.
the old man, no, it was great. The old man he threw down the gauntlet, and Jim heard it. He goes, I'll take a little piece of that action. So before you knew it, we all decide we're going to do push-ups.
Oh
And St. Thomas, it's 6 to 8 foot every day. It's just
Ah.
that's what you're dealing with, which is whatever. You get used to it. So, but now we're not doing them on the covering boards, we're doing them on the deck. So Jim Lambert missing half a lung, because he was on radiation. He was
Yeah.
already battling cancer. So he does whatever. He knocks out, I don't know, three or four. Then the boys do it. Pork chop, Joe, Pete Buenas does it,
Oh
and
God.
oh man, we had the crew. So I go down and bang, 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 and I get to 37. And after doing them all day long, uh, when it's rough, I get to 37, which I was very happy with.
Yeah.
So this 70-something-year-old guy gets on the deck, and bro, it was just like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He just go, and we're counting out loud. When he gets to 50, he leans up, he looks at me, he goes, is that enough or you want me to keep going?
Oh,
And I'm like, bro, done.
I'm
So
out.
we get a laugh out of it. We're cool. Then I don't know, it's like maybe a year later, we're at I think it's called Gillespie's, the golf joint next to Merritt's.
Okay.
I go into lunch and it's a bunch of just us deckhands. There's like 8 of us. I see Roy, I wave at him. He's talking to some white hair guy. I don't whatever. So we're eating lunch, and I think we just got our lunch or we're waiting for it, and I feel a little tap on my shoulder. And I turn around, there's Roy and there's Stuart Campbell. He goes, "Hey, you want a rematch?" And
Oh no.
I'm like, fuck no,
Yeah.
dude. No, no, no. No." But you know what he taught me about fishing? And again, God rest his soul, because he was an innovator. Uh,
Yeah.
he was the one that taught me that we all do this for a different reason.
Yes.
And I say that because, we just all think that we love fishing, which we
Yeah.
all do, but there's something specific
Yep.
that draws us to it. And at that point, I realized, because I was listening to him talk to me, we were sitting there talking about our chair, because we had that special chair designed for
Yeah.
the real tight. Well, Stuart was an engineer. And so that thought wrapped his head about our chair. Then he sat there and he talked to me about how he tied all his knots. So to him, it was the entire engineering aspect of fishing, of how you tie the knots, the geometry of the rods, the geometry of the gears in the reel, and the design of the boat. And I'm like, oh, so it made me step into myself and look at why I love fishing. And what it
Yeah.
is it's the team aspect, is how do you put a team together, and how do
Yeah.
you work that team to make it as efficient
Yeah.
as possible. Like one of the things that I had always, and I still do to this day, uh, I compare cockpit management to baseball. If the ball is coming here and he's going to catch it, I need to be the cutoff man. In
Yeah.
baseball, well, it's the same thing. Listen, if you're on the teaser rod and
Yeah.
he's my angler, where do I need to be in case that fish steps away? Where is that fish going to show up second? If he
Yeah.
falls off that teaser, well, he's going to be on the outside turn. So
Yeah.
let me get to the outside and stand there in case something happens with that fish. So I automatically go to the outside. I'm not going to just sit around and watch. Let me get to the outside teaser
Yeah.
and stand there in case that fish fades off. He's always going to go
That's
to that
right.
outside. So that's because of Stuart Campbell telling me
Yeah.
about how he tied his
You
knots.
found your reason.
My reason, I, I never, when you do something because you know it works.
Yeah.
But why did you start picking that up? And I started picking that up because that's what's important to me. How does the team work?
Yeah.
Where, especially us, we had three deckhands.
Yeah.
So you didn't want to be a wasteful guy. You didn't want to just sit there and then react. I want to be proactive. I want to get
Yeah.
there before the fish is there in case something happens.
Yeah.
And that's all uh non-communication stuff that you do when you're
Yeah.
fishing. You don't want to have to tell somebody to be here or do that. You want to be there ready. And
Yeah.
and Stewart, and I think it happens a little bit more as we get older.
Yeah.
Why am I doing this? What's the introspective? Let me stop. Why am I doing it this way? And you
Yeah.
start thinking, oh, I'm doing it this way because of blank, blank. Oh, okay. So, and it makes you enjoy it that much more.
Yeah.
It really does. It's like,
I
okay,
agree. Yeah.
it's like if that fish doesn't show up there, where's he going to show up? Oh, no, no, no. It's like you said, these guys boogered these elk here, but they're going to go, I'm going to get up there in front of them.
Yeah.
Same thing, but you're doing as
Oh yeah.
part of cockpit management. As that fish comes in on the teaser, boat goes in a turn, pitch bait in the clear water.
Yeah.
Sometimes they get lost. Where's he going to show up?
So so let me bring something up.
Yeah, yeah, bring it up.
When are you going to reignite the BBC? That's it.
You know how many people have called me up about that?
Listen to me. Everybody loved it because of that fork sticking out the back of the boat. a big
100%.
fork. That's what it was about. Another thing it was about is everybody was created equal. It was either six lures or six baits or a combination thereof,
You know,
right? So
it's
wait.
yeah, no, go.
And everything that mattered was the marlin. So the only way I see that it could work and you bring everybody back in is you make it six lures or six baits or a combination of thereof, right? With or without sonar, that's up for grabs.
Yeah.
Only blue marlin. That's it. No
So
dredges, because what ruined it was the dredges and the 12 crew members, and then make it two mates, all old school.
hold on a second. That's where I got to stop you. We as fishermen, we evolve. We evolve. And you're asking me a question as a tournament director.
100%. I
You're
value your
asking,
opinion.
yeah. You asked me a question as a tournament director, so I'm going to answer you as a tournament director and not a fisherman.
Yeah.
Okay. So as a tournament director, I can get fishermen to do what I want by creating my rules to be a certain way. And I do not ever want to prohibit somebody from fishing the way they want to fish, because that's right there. You're starting off with getting rid of people, but I can get people to do things I want by structuring my rules. So that being said, when I ran the Walkers tournament that one year, what I did, because I remembered what happened to the BBC. So
Yeah.
what you said about getting rid of the dredges has nothing to do with the dredges, has everything to do with the way they changed the point system.
100%.
So, because we evolved, because the money went to the most points. So back then, the money and the points would only be given to meat on the dock. So
yes, but you could also win with releases.
Hold on a second. Hold on a second. So, the first thing back then, a blue marlin was worth either 400 or 500 points, and
Yeah.
and a white marlin was worth 2. So that
Yeah.
meant 3 white marlins would pass a blue marlin.
Yeah.
So when I did walkers, what I did was I made blue marlins 500. I made white marlins 100 and sailfish 50. Now, here's the other thing depending a series I might do that I would probably do this would be 500 for a blue marlin, 100 for a white, 50 for a sail. I'm giving this out, and if somebody wants to steal it, they can steal it. I'm one of those believers that I can
I
do
just want
something.
it back, dude.
Yeah,
Those
no,
were the
no.
best days of my life.
But hold on a second. Make it a 500-pound minimum or a 400-pound minimum. I'm okay with a 400-pound minimum, but make it 1 point per pound.
Yes.
So meaning if you catch a fish that's 450, you're going to take 50%, 50 points less than if you released it. But find a weight, let's say 750, where anything above 750 is now worth 1.5 per pound.
Oh, wow.
Now, hold on a second.
Never even thought of that.
Listen to this, what that does. Those guys that switch from pulling dredges and fishing on the edge go back to the mushroom, Jurassic Park. These are all things that the young kids don't know about because nobody's out there fishing in the deep, pulling 4 lures or 6 lures, whatever it is. Looking for the 750.
The one bite.
The one bite.
Yeah.
So when
but wait a minute. You got to remember what attracted people, bro.
Hold on a second. I'm going back to what you just said. What attracted people was, this is what made the BBC really, really cool. And I'm going to, Pobrecito, I can't remember his name. The guy that owned the COB. Do you remember the COB?
Yeah.
The chairman of the board.
Hang on. shit. Paul ran his boat. Oh yeah.
Anyway, while you think of his name,
Yeah.
this is what I liked about him, and this is what I remember of the BBC. You fished until I think it was 4 o'clock. At the end of the day, your crew would come in, they'd grab their 4 lures, they go, psh,
Yep. And then you go to the cocktail.
and then you go to the pool.
The cocktail party and
And
the
well,
appetizers and the social.
before the cocktail party, because the cocktail party wasn't until whatever 6 or 6:30.
6:30, yeah.
Everybody would go to the pool first. All the owners would hang out at the pool. They drink their drinks. And because the crew, all they had to do was psh,
Yeah.
when they switched over to let's catch all these white marlin, now they're rigging 300 mackerels and mullets and all that. So the crew
and 8 crew members.
yeah, pero todavía with 8 crew members, so you can keep up with all that.
But that's what killed it.
But why? Because
nobody felt even playing field anymore.
No. But go back, because the points were equal enough that
Correct.
if I catch 2 sail or 2
no,
whites,
you shortcutted the reason. You're right.
Yeah,
it's the points.
It's the points. It's the points. Yeah. So, like my tournament in Chubb, and every year I always get 1 or 2 guys. Hey man, why don't you fish until 5 o'clock? I'm like, no, we fish until 3. Yeah. You know why? Because the owners come in while the crew is washing everything down and rigging a couple baits. I go to the pool. There's 20 owners in there tomando, they're bushwhackers, they're having a good time. And this is what I really enjoy. The guys that come from the Gulf of Mexico, those Orange Beach guys, the Louisiana guys, they're in by 3 o'clock and they're sitting at the pool. They're like, Fly, we don't know what to do. We're so used to leaving on Thursday and not coming back until Saturday. We like meeting new people. We like sitting here drinking and having a good time. Now, I also do it because the way the clubhouse is set in Chubb, I can only have 2 seatings. I have 2 seatings for dinner. So we have to start dinner at 6, 6:15, 6:30, 6:45, 7. And that way we can seat everybody. If I let people fish until 5, that means check-ins aren't going to be done until 6, and then it makes everything so late.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
But I want people to spend time together. I want owners and crew to spend time together. So you have to figure out the camaraderie so that it's not beneficial. Listen, if an owner wants to hire 7 crew, who am I as a tournament director to put a rule on? Listen, you and I, being sons of Cuban immigrants, the last thing we want is an authoritarian body telling you what you can and cannot do.
Yeah.
I don't want to listen, you want to hire 7 of my buddies and pay them $350 a day? Knock yourself out. But that white marlin's only going to be worth 100 points. And if that's what you're chasing.
Yeah. That I agree, because then you're shortcutting what I was worried about. Like, what I know killed it was that. Do you remember the IB stroking?
Yeah, absolutely.
That kind of person that would come, there was 50 of those that would come from Texas, from the Panhandle, from Panama City Beach. That kind of person felt like they had a chance, and they did.
Exactly.
Because everybody was created equal. You had
1 fish.
You had 4, and then later we made it 6 lures, or 6 baits, or a combination thereof. Yeah. And then anybody could get whaled on by a big fish and win the money. So everybody felt like they were in the hunt.
And that's what makes tournaments like Cabo, Big Rock, White Marlin Open, Mid-Atlantic, the World Cup.
Yeah.
Because all you need is the one right fish.
Yeah.
And that was the great thing of the Bertram Hatteras shootout, which you only needed one right fish.
So I think if you could arrange it in the same format as the old days, right?
Yeah.
Bimini, right? Believe it or not, there's still blue marlin there.
Oh, damn straight there is.
Bimini, Walkers, Chubb, not Harbor Island. I hate it.
The hardest part about Harbor Island was fuel. Getting fuel was always so tough. And it's a beautiful, the fishing spot is great.
Yeah.
but it's
But
just so
I
tough.
also the blue marlin fishing isn't amazing. It's tough. It's tough there. So
Listen, blue
think of
marlin
another
fishing
place.
through the Bahamas is like I have. I'm doing one in January 31st. I'm doing a Wahoo tournament out of Grand Bahama.
Yeah, but that's
Uh,
going to be good. It's
but
Wahoo. It's the
yeah,
time of
yeah,
year.
no, no, no. But what I'm talking about is the fact that I keep getting contacted to do more stuff out of the Bahamas, and I'm okay with it. And
Yeah.
I've got a bunch of cool stuff going on right now that I'm not at liberty to say on
Sure,
camera.
sure.
People will find out next year, 2026.
Yeah.
I have no problem sharing it with you off camera.
But try to reinvigorate it, man, because I'm telling you, if you can get a 5 tournament series going, and of course you're gonna have to work with Skip because now Skip has his stuff and it's established. Because
Actually,
if not,
you know who else has got a series over there that's getting ready to start is Jamie Bunn. It's called
really,
the El Jefe series or El Jefe Invitational. I don't know anything about it other than I've seen it online. And
yeah.
Jamie does a really, really good job. Jamie does a
Well,
really,
it's
really
something to
good job.
consider because it was so awesome for so many
It
years.
was so cool.
It was so awesome, and we all benefited greatly from it.
Oh,
Look, this house is
yeah.
BBC.
I remember I remember it wasn't my last year fishing the BBC with Jim. This was I think my second or my third year on the boat with Jim. We went over to fish that first boat harbor tournament, which was like I think March or April. You're still dealing with some cold fronts coming through, and
Yeah,
it was rough, and fishing sucked. And Jim said something. I can't remember what he said. And it was like, to be honest with you, boss, I'd rather just go down to St. Thomas. He goes, yeah, but I'm fishing so you guys can win some money. And I'm like, boss, I appreciate it. Or we were in the cockpit because we always
yeah,
talked as a whole. It's like, listen, I don't get me wrong. I'd love to fish for dollars, but I'd rather go to St. Thomas and fish for blue marlin.
yeah,
And he's like, really? And he goes, fuck it. Let's go.
yeah,
And we did. And we went. And after that, we just started fishing the April and May moon on the south side. And
yeah.
listen, you
And I
got
gotta know Blue Marlin.
the hell they don't, man. That, wow. That
Remember that
place,
song?
I remember it.
And I gotta know Blue Marlin. Got him on.
There was, man, but those were different Blue Marlins, man. They fought
Yeah.
differently. They were tough Blue Marlins off Anagata. Those,
And I gotta know Blue Marlin.
they'd
And I
go,
gotta know.
they'd go down in that current and they just sit there. They
Yeah,
didn't care. That
it was
was
cool.
for me, that was way, way cool.
So that'd be
Uh
great if somebody could reinvigorate that series, dude, because man, there was just so many
I,
good times. I
listen,
mean, I'm looking
I've
at
had
my
a
wall and it's just loaded with that shit, dude. Just
I've been
dead
asked.
shit. Look at all the dead shit over there.
You gotta love that.
It's just, it's just,
I've had a lot of and there recently, I say recently, March was the boat show, the Palm Beach boat show. I was walking down the dock. I had 6 or 7 different people come up to me and say, "Hey, did you see where we tagged you on Facebook?" And I'm like, "Man, I haven't seen
yeah,
it. When did you do this?" Well, somebody was talking about starting the BBC again, and we all put your name in the hat. And I'm
yeah.
like, okay, so I'm not saying no. I'm just like, let me take care of my projects that I got going on now.
You got to
And
try it, bro. You
no,
got
no,
to.
no.
I'm telling you, just do a test tube, baby. Just kind of create a format, create some dates. That's going to take a little bit of work because you got to flow them with everybody else shit going on because you
Yeah.
want a lot of participation. You want to get 100 boats again, like it used to be,
Oh,
right? And then you make everything reasonable. You create your cocktail party at this time, every night, right? Awards banquet, blah 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 blah. And you just send it out as a test tube baby to guys like me that are going to spread it everywhere. Everybody that's going to spread it and see what you get. See how many commitments you get. I bet that you'll get over 100 commitments for the whole series. I bet.
I
Because you're not going to get all those people we lost that went to Costa Rica forever.
Yeah, and all the guys that passed away. There's a lot of guys
And
that
all the
passed
guys
away.
passed away, and you're not going to get the ones that are now in Capt,
Yeah, no, no.
because they're over there, woohoo, woohoo, All right, but you're going to get some of those guys that and you're going to get all new guys when you show them memories, pictures. You have somebody like me send you 15 dead fish pictures, party pictures. You get all these guys that we grew up with that crushed during those days, right? And
Uh-huh.
you get them to send you pictures, and you make a collage, and you send it along with what you think would be a good schedule and where, because of the moon historically,
It
this place, that place.
if I were to do it, I would do a test one, and then I would start building off of it, is what I would do.
Yeah.
Just because as a initial investment, it's cheaper to start one and test everybody than go out and spend the money for 5 tournaments and then 3 of the 5 don't break even.
Got it.
Make sense as a
Yeah.
so
Yeah. I
uh
bet you could get some of these guys to flip the bill on most of it,
oh, I bet you. Yeah, no, no, I bet you.
and you won't be out nothing.
No, but again, you just gotta time it out before
Yeah, you
people
still
go
got
to
to treat
Big
it like a
Rock.
business.
Yeah, people that want to go to Big Rock, people that want to go to Bermuda, so
Yeah.
on and so forth. I'm assuming you're gonna have to go because you're looking at your phone.
Oh my God, my mate is just hammering me
Yeah, yeah.
because
Let's wrap this up really quick.
it's been great, man. So good to see you and
Bro,
catch up. And
you hold on one second. Now let's just wrap up. Thank you so much. You
my
did
pleasure.
exactly what I
Pleasure was
wanted.
mine.
And everybody who's listening, thank you so much for listening to 2 MOTs, member of the tribe, talk some shit. And we will catch everybody later.